unbeaten. Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati is up next. I'm Brendan Fitzgerald in studio with Charles Arbuckle. We'll keep it here, but wall-to-wall action on ESPNU. That's what we like. From one stadium to another. Less than 4 minutes in South Florida and Cincinnati.
Well, Quentin Flowers has to be the guy there for South Florida. Has to make plays. And if you're Cincinnati, Hayden Moore was out last week. Quarterback position, a question mark. Their defense hadn't played well. South Florida will run the football and do a lot of things there. You have to stop them. It's a big home game for Cincinnati. Can they come back and really play, and can South Florida come back from the loss they had against Florida State last week?
Each team enters 3-1. You mentioned the loss by South Florida to Florida State, in which they scored points on the Seminoles. Cincinnati, meanwhile, 3-1, 0-1 in league play after losing to Houston, but they kept it close and proved that they can play with the Cougars for about 3.5 quarters.
They really did. And I think also, too, you've got 16 Bearcats. That's Cincinnati Bearcats from the state of Florida. They want to play these guys. They always look forward to this game.
So it's the Bulls going on the road to Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati. American Conference action coming up right here on ESPNU. 3-1 South Florida, 3-1 Cincinnati. Chance to see Quentin Flowers for South Florida and Hayden Moore back at quarterback for the Bearcats. Mark Neely, it's all yours.
Brendan and Charles, thanks very much, and welcome to the Queen City. A beautiful night for college football here in the American Conference. It's the University of South Florida taking on the University of Cincinnati, and Ross Trail, who made his first career start last weekend here against Miami of Ohio, rallied them to a win, will make his second career start. And Quentin Flowers, a quarterback for USF last year against Cincinnati, had 4 touchdown passes in that game. This is the American Conference on ESPN. From Nippert Stadium in the Queen City, Cincinnati, Ohio, the University of South Florida Bulls taking on the Cincinnati Bearcats. So glad you could join us here in Cincinnati on this Saturday night, along with former collegiate and NFL linebacker Ray Bentley. I'm Mark Neely. Ray, the meeting between these teams last year in November in Tampa, USF wins 65-27. How much does that play into tonight's game?
It was an epic beatdown. There's no question about it. 51-3 at halftime. Cincinnati turned it over 5 times in the first half. And we talked to Coach Tommy Tuberville, and he said they worked on stopping the Bulls offense all summer long. So we'll see if they came up with the right recipe.
Well, we thought there may be a chance that Hayden Moore would be back at quarterback for Cincinnati. Not the case. It will be the second consecutive start for redshirt freshman Ross Trail.
Yeah, and I think Ross Trail showed good for himself in his first start last week. He's got a strong arm. He can throw these deep corner routes, drops it in here. The key was making good decisions. Now, he did throw a couple of interceptions, but the thing that he does better than any of their other quarterbacks is this. He can run with the football, and that adds an added extra dimension to this Bearcat offense.
So Cincinnati will try to get the offense going tonight. Getting the offense going hasn't been an issue for the University of South Florida. They're averaging 46 points a game. Quarterback Quentin Flowers and wide receiver Rodney Adams have been a very impressive tandem.
Yeah, these two guys together are really hard to stop. This is the first play from last week's game against Florida State, and it's a home run ball to Rodney Adams. And his ability to stretch the field and also run the jet sweep stuff opens things up for Quentin Flowers, who I think might be the best running back, even though he's a quarterback, on the field here today. It's an exciting aspect to this Bulls offense, and Quentin Flowers is fun to watch.
There is Willie Taggart in his 4th season as the head coach here at the University of South Florida, his 7th overall season as the head man. And Tommy Tuberville, Arkansas native, in his 20th overall season as a head coach in his 4th year now here with the Bearcats. Cincinnati will kick off to begin this game. That is Ryan Jones, redshirt freshman out of Newcastle, Indiana. And back deep, Rodney Adams and Dearness Johnson. We are ready to go from Cincinnati. Great to have you with us for this American Conference matchup between UC and USF, and we are underway. Adams will let that bounce in the end zone, and a touchback. It'll come out to the 25. A USF offense, Ray, averaging 46 points per game, one of the tops in the nation, and they have a quarterback that not only leads them in passing but leads their team in rushing.
He is a phenomenal athlete. Not only that, the way he commands this offense, he's a smooth operator. They'll go with, when it gets loud in here, their silent count, and he just has everybody where they need to be. I'm really impressed with this kid. And then his ability to run with the football, that makes it so hard on defenses.
USF comes out with Marlin Mack in the backfield. And they stack 2 receivers to each side for the game's first play. Handed off. Mack started to run left. Now coming back right. Can't get to the edge. And he is slung down for a loss by Kevin Muha.
Cincinnati wants to jam up the middle in this ball game, Mark, and force things laterally. They did very well on the first play.
That lost 5, and here's Flowers using his feet, able to get back near the original line of scrimmage from play 1, so he picks up about the 5 that they lost before he's stopped by quarterback Grant Coleman.
And you saw Flowers make a man miss. That's what he does better than just about any quarterback I've seen. In fact, he'll make the wrong read on a zone read intentionally because he thinks he can beat the guy who was assigned to him.
Almost got Broughton to jump. This is a 3rd down and 8. Make it 3rd down and 9 for USF. And already wanting a timeout.
They didn't like what they're seeing. Cincinnati, a different look on defense, forces this early timeout.
So the Bulls use that early timeout and will step aside as well inside the game's first minute. After using an early timeout, USF facing a 3rd down and 8 from their own 27-yard line. Flowers with 3 receivers to the left. And back in the backfield. Flowers has time, throws, and a 1st down catch at the 40, and stumbling forward all the way to the 45 is Rodney Adams. Zach Edwards with the tackle.
And Adams just gets himself open. You're going to see Flowers looks at it the whole way, and they have 3 receivers all curling up against that zone defense. And Flowers found Adams in a hole.
Well, he looks for Adams again, but that time Mike Tyson, the strong side linebacker, comes up and makes a hit and a loss of a couple after they converted a 3rd and 8 with an 18-yard gain. They lose a few.
And that puts South Florida behind the chains once again here, facing a 2nd and 12.
3 receivers again to the left.
Unbalanced line. Excuse me, Mark.
Yep. And here's a pitch running left. Mack turns the corner and steps out of bounds right near midfield. Run out by Tyrell Gilbert. He runs for close to 5. Mack, who's less than 100 yards away from becoming the all-time leading rusher in USF history.
And he's a good one. He can make a guy miss in the middle of the field, out in space.
And the Bulls converted on a 3rd and 8. Now a 3rd down and 5 for midfield, and they bring in Dearness Johnson in the backfield. That's Adams at the bottom of your screen. Looking, Flowers wants to run with it, and tumbling forward, he'll be close, but with the spot, it looks like he may be a little bit short.
One of the things I think Flowers does, as well as any quarterback in the country, is they try to go quick now and hurry this thing up and steal a 1st down.
Well, they was short. They go for it on 4th and short and making it, picking up a couple. Johnson got enough by about a yard or so to keep the drive alive.
And that is one of the ways Willie Taggart and company use tempo. They will hurry it up when the defense least expects it, especially on 3rd and short, 4th and short.
So 1st down for USF. First drive of the game. They're at the Cincinnati 44. Flowers going to take a deep shot, looking for Adams. It's a bit underthrown. He adjusts, incomplete inside the 5. Mike Tyson had the coverage.
And if this ball is thrown long enough, it's 6 points. But when Adams adjusts to the football, you see Tyson get his eyes around and find the football. That's how you make the play. That is textbook in terms of when to get your head around and enable yourself to make a play on the ball, and Tyson knocked that one out.
So they took a shot on 1st down.
They love to do that.
And now they're at 2nd and 10. In motion, they fake the jet sweep and run straight ahead for about 4. Mack stopped by Omani Fitz, one of the starting defensive ends for the Bearcats.
And the Bearcats just rolled a whole new fresh defensive line back into the ball game. And they have run a defense where they have 4 defensive ends in the game, but they want the big boys in it against this offense.
Another 3rd down for USF, a 3rd and 6. 10th play of the drive coming up.
Willie Taggart, the head coach, calls the plays for South Florida. And when they don't go tempo, you'll see this freeze, look over and get the call after they watch and see what the defense is in.
Flowers immediately looking right high, but it's caught by Ryshean Bronson, and he'll have the first down up near the 30-yard line.
That's one thing I'm looking at for Flowers tonight, the intermediate passing game. That's been his Achilles heel if he does have one, and the deal is he'll overthrow the football. That one was even high, but Ryshean Bronson was able to go up and get it for him.
First down, Bulls now at the 31 of Cincinnati. Bring in tight end Mitchell Wilcox and shift him to the left side of the formation. Play fake now, big trouble in the backfield, but Flowers finds time and finds a wide open receiver at the 20. That is Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and he'll have a first down inside the 15, run out by Alex Thomas.
Flowers had Rodney Adams on a corner route into the end zone. Had he spotted him, that'd have been 6 points. Instead, he dropped it down and found Valdez-Scantling, who made a nice little run after the catch.
For a 16-yard gain. First down spotted at the 14 of the Bearcats.
You know, they got everybody spread out here. Usually means run inside.
And he'll do so with Mack. He tries to cut it back, breaks a tackle, but then caught from the backside by Eric Wilson, and no gain.
Antonio Kennard, the linebacker, made that first contact and made Flowers stumble just enough to get the tackle.
They call him TK, Antonio Kennard, senior out of Youngstown, Ohio, in that Bearcats defense. In motion, Valdez-Scantling, they give it to him on the jet sweep, turned it upfield, and immediately gets hit right near the line of scrimmage by Eric Wilson and dropped there at the 15.
And Mike Tyson does a great job of fending off the block. You see him, they got a receiver. Actually, it was Mack coming out there trying to cut him, but Tyson wasn't having any of that, and he's had 3 good plays so far in this ball game on this first drive.
Yeah, give the tackle to the senior Tyson with a little help from Wilson, but the 14th play of this drive coming up here for USF. Trips to the top of the screen. Looking in that direction, Flowers to the end zone, too high and incomplete. He had Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who had a step or so on the defender.
Yeah, that's one of those overthrows that I talk about in watching Flowers. Those intermediate throws. And I asked Coach about it. He says, yeah, we're working on that. He just gets himself too excited and pumped up and overthrows those things. And that's a classic example of it right there, because that could well have and should well have been 6 points.
Redshirt junior out of Miami, Emilio Nadelman on for a 31-yard attempt. Just about lined up middle of the field. Kick is away.
I think they're going to negate the play as there was movement. Antonio Kennard got into the neutral zone, and then the Bulls offensive line reacted and moved.
Well, it's a 4th and 10, so even if it's against Cincinnati, it would not be enough for a first down.
Offside defense, number 44, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So they called it on Marquise Copeland.
So it'll spot the ball now inside the 10, close to the 9. Again, still not enough for a first down, so it'll shorten the field goal try to a 26-yarder.
You saw the brief look of disdain on Tommy Tuberville's face. Penalties and turnovers have driven him crazy the last couple years.
And once again, Nadelman straight down the middle. And USF, a long drive for Willie Taggart's team, ate up over 5 minutes, and they settle for a field goal to take an early 3-0 lead. A little over a year ago, they finished an $86 million renovation here at Nippert Stadium, and this is the command center, and that is local meteorologist Erica Cholera. So the local TV station here, she's at the command center and lets us take you behind the scenes with tonight's AT&T Inside Access. And we're comparing the game time temperatures for the University of South Florida. 3 of their 4 games have been home games down in Tampa. 1 was in the Dome in Syracuse, which is not a cool place by any means. And tonight, 66 degrees.
Yeah, they got to feel pretty good. I do. It's been a long, hot summer, and it's nice to finally get some what I call football weather.
Yeah, beautiful night here in the Queen City. So instead of dealing with temperatures of about 100+ degrees on the field. Their first 4 games not having to deal with that here tonight. 15-play drive went 66 yards and settled for the Nadelman 26-yard field goal. Nadelman's kickoff taken right at the goal line, and it is brought out by Boone. Boone at the 20, breaks an ankle tackle, gets down the sideline, now has to beat the kicker, who brings him down at about the 38. Nadelman makes the stop.
And Boone is going to hear it in the meetings tomorrow. Anytime a kicker makes a tackle, that running back's going to get fried.
Well, redshirt freshman Ross Trail picked up the start, his first start last week against Miami of Ohio, and he was able to lead them back to a fourth quarter rally and a win to take the victory bell.
And a lot of times you hear about this. The guy, his biggest improvement will be from game 1 to game 2. This is game 2 for Trail, and we'll see if he's really picked it up.
Hands off Tion Green, running off left tackle across midfield, lowers his shoulder, and he's tackled at the 46 by cornerback Dietrich Nichols. A 15-yard run.
Really nice block on the edge. You're going to see there's just nobody left outside at home. Great job by Ryan Stout, the left tackle for the Bearcats.
Green motions out, and he swings out, makes the catch, and then wrapped up at the 43 by Nate Godwin. Picks up about 3 yards. Well, there was talk during the week that perhaps Hayden Moore would be able to come back after suffering an ankle injury in the Houston game. Did not play last week. They hope perhaps next week he will be back, but it allows Trail to start a second straight game. Green once again up near the 40 for a gain of about 3. Kirk Livingstone, defensive end with the stop. It's going to leave him about 4 yards short of a first down.
The running game was something that Tommy Tuberville wanted to get better. He knew he lost 6 receivers off of his 2 deep this year, so they're young out there. They had to add running to the mix, and they've worked hard at it.
Trail looking to put it up now. Pressure, throws high, incomplete, off the hands of DJ Dowdy. The tight end was open, but that throw was a bit high.
Yeah, and it's probably a little bit of, nerves early on, the adrenaline. However, Dowdy needs to make that catch. Ball gets you in the hands, no matter where they are. You got to reel that one in.
So after a couple of big runs by Tion Green, the drive stalls. And on to punt, Sam Geraci with Dearness Johnson back deep. Dearness Johnson, his older brother, plays on the Cincinnati team, to Shumby Johnson. So the 2 brothers get a chance to play one another's teams once again. That ball's going to bounce inside the 5, where it is down. So a nice job by Sam Geraci, the junior punter. 36-yard punt, no return, and he pins in USF inside their own 5.
ESPNU College Football is brought to you by Old Spice. Smell 'em who's boss.
From Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati, a pleasant Saturday night. University of South Florida, their second possession of the game. Their first went for 15 plays. They settled for a 26-yard field goal from Emilio Nadelman. So they have the 3-0 lead midway through this first quarter, but Willie Taggart's team has to begin at their own 4-yard line.
Cincinnati missed 3 tackles on that first drive. They're going to have to clean that up throughout the course of this game.
Two receivers up top are Valdez-Scantling and Bronson. Sweep running in that direction left. Mack hit from behind at the 5, pushed forward to the 7 by Eric Wilson and Marquise Copeland.
Another unbalanced line for Willie Taggart's offense. That's one of the things they love to do. I've seen them run tackle-eligible plays and score touchdowns on it. So they'll lull you to sleep with that look, and the next thing you know, they're throwing to a guy nobody expects.
Well, they call it the Gulf Coast offense, a little play off the term the West Coast offense, since they're on the Gulf Coast, and it's really been dynamic for Willie Taggart. Here's a carry straight ahead from back across the 10 to the 11. Antonio Kennard, number 42, brings him down.
Yeah, the Gulf Coast, they came in with the West Coast offense, so they had Coast in place. So they were looking for something else to do it, and so they threw Gulf Coast in on it. And really, that's a mix of tempo, a lot more play action pass, and then a huge jet package where they take advantage of Rodney Adams' ability.
3rd down and 4 for USF. They were 2 of 4 on 3rd down on their first possession. They did convert a 4th down on their initial possession tonight. Adams comes in motion. Jet sweep running that direction. Stumbled a bit, and he is stopped short by Zach Edwards, number 4. Edwards is a key part of this defense tonight for Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah, you know, it was questionable on whether or not he'd be able to play. Had an injury in the hamstring area, and you saw him on the elevator today and got some inside information.
Yeah, he missed last week because of that hamstring. Did not play, and he was going to be a game-time decision, but he had decided well before game time he was going to play.
It was an elevator decision, and he made it for you right there, and he's so key to this defense. He's the guy who gets everybody lined up right in the back end.
Jonathan Hernandez punt. Braden Beard back. Able to avoid one tackler, but then the second wraps him up at the 42. About a 48-yard punt for Hernandez with a couple-yard return for Beard. So Cincinnati will have the football for a second time when we come back to the Queen City. Well, this college football season, you can stream every game live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. You can download the app or visit WatchESPN.com today. Good look here at Nippert Stadium. Sunset in Cincinnati. The Bearcats with their second possession. Redshirt freshman quarterback Ross Trail in his second career start. First possession for the Bearcats, picked up 1 first down before having to punt, but their defense just forced USF into their first 3 and out.
Got him nice field position as well.
Again at their own 42, they motion Mike Boone out of the backfield, swing it out to him. Boone has a block on the edge. Able to turn upfield, but pretty well defended by USF. Let's pick up about 8.
Devin Abraham came in and made the tackle, and he's key to this defense. He's going to be what I call the free runner, playing that safety spot. A lot of times he'll come up unblocked. The question is, can he make that tackle in open field? He made a nice one there.
Abraham had an interesting game against Florida State last week. They play fake, now throw it high and in the direction of the intended receiver, Nate Cole, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and short.
Really nice coverage in the back end by the Bulls defense. There was literally nowhere for Ross Trail to throw the football. And that was one thing that Coach Tuberville said, and also Zach Taylor, the offensive coordinator, reiterated. He did a nice job of throwing the ball away when he had to, and that's hard for a young quarterback. You're in there and you want to make a play.
3rd and a long one, nearly 2. Fake the jet sweep, rolling out. Trail looking at Boone, throws, has him right at the marker. He's undercut, but with the spot, should have the first down. Johnny Ward right there to undercut him, but it'll be a first down for the Bearcats.
And the Bearcats ran that fake jet screen themselves. It kind of screens when that receiver comes across. It screens everything, and then the ability for Trail to move the feet and get out on the edge is what made that play go.
First down, Bearcats at the 47 of USF. This is Mike Boone running right, gets to the edge, and ushered out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. So a gain of about 6 on first for Boone.
Mike Boone has a gas pedal. You saw him when he said, okay, I got a little room on the outside. When he hits it, he can get it.
Yeah, they were telling us about his speed. He can motor. He has 20 career rushing touchdowns. A couple of them this year. He motions out, looking at his direction again. Here's Boone, got a block on the edge, and by the shirt tail is pulled down by Nate Godwin. Otherwise, he would have had more than a 7 or 8 yard gain there.
This is a great play by Godwin because he was coming on a blitz and he changed mid-course when he saw the action and actually was able to run Boone down from behind. That's no small feat. We have an injured player on the field.
Bruce Hector, one of the starting defensive tackles for USF, is down, the redshirt junior from Tampa and Robinson High School.
Hector's an outstanding pass rusher. They really like to get him on the edge and have him get after people, and did not see what happened to him, but hopefully he'll be okay. Looks like they're dealing with that ankle.
They help Hector to his feet.
See if he can put a little weight on it. That's a good indication.
It looks like he's putting all of the almost 300 pounds on it, but a little more with each step.
And those things, I've had them. That'll get a little better as time goes. And what most usually happens is they'll put a fresh tape job on that and see if he can't gut it out for the rest of the night.
When he wakes up tomorrow morning, though, that may be the first thing he feels.
He'll have to gut out that morning, too. This is an area where Cincinnati does like to take shots. First down, moved into the opponent's territory. See if you can't steal one.
Watch Devin Gray right at the top of your screen, the JUCO transfer. Looking at his direction, he was well covered. And then trail pass for the tight end. Cogswell is broken up. Dietrich Nichols, the cornerback, came around to get a hand on that at the last moment.
And Trail wanted that deep shot, but he made a good decision not to throw it into trouble. Two of his interceptions, his only 2 interceptions last week, came on those type of throws, deep balls where he threw it into traffic.
He showed some pressure, but it's broken. Tion Green with a first down run and continues to keep the feet moving. Forward progress is going to get him near the 15. What a run by Tion Green for 19 yards.
Watch this blitz coming up. Now, the deal with that is if you don't make that tackle as a blitzer and they bust through the line, that one's going to the secondary. And that's a big play. A nice little job of picking up the blitz by this UC offensive line.
Yeah, it's still early in this game, Ray. We don't expect to see a lot of pressure from either side tonight, I don't think. Here's a pass, dangerous. Caught. That's Nate Cole, who immediately was dropped there by Devin Abraham. That is a completion to the 7th.
And Ross Trail did an outstanding job of feeling that untouched blitzer off the edge and getting the football out on target. He's looking pretty good. He's looking poised and confident out there right now on this drive.
First catch for Nate Cole, his team leading 24th of the season. Here's Green inside the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Bearcats. 7-yard touchdown run. Devin Abraham and Augie Sanchez each had a shot to bring him down, but instead Green runs for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season.
You have to fit Green up. He's 230 pounds. He's going to break arm tackles, and that's what we had was a couple of arm tackle attempts from Sanchez and Abraham.
The touchdown for Tion Green, his 19th career rushing TD. Josh Paisley on for the extra point. Andrew Gantz, the starting place kicker, still dealing with a hip issue. And the left-footed kicker just missed it. Paisley yanks it right, and it stays 6-3.
Take a look at this touchdown here, and the blocking up inside. The cutback lane is open because of the double team. A great job by that right side of the offensive line. Leahy and Cunningham, they take care of business. And Sanchez gets caught behind that whole pile. So when he shows up, all he's got a shot at is a reaching arm tackle. Whereas Abraham, he's got to chest that thing up.
The 7-yard touchdown run for Tion Green. The missed extra point. Paisley now 5 of 7 in PAT attempts.
Real impressed with the UC offensive line on that drive, Mark. They created holes. They kept their quarterback pretty much protected throughout. That was a nice drive. I think the quintessential drive of what Tommy Tuberville is shooting for with the mix of the run and the pass with this new Bearcats offense, with Zach Taylor coming in as the offensive coordinator.
Ryan Jones kicks off for the Bearcats. Adams from the 1. Hits the 20. Makes a cut at the 25. Racing far side. Advances to the 30. 35 and tripped up. Just getting a hand on him was Chris Murphy to prevent that from being an even bigger run back. Right now, let's send you to the studio and check in with Brendan Fitzgerald.
Hey, Mark, you're not going to believe this. Athens, Georgia. Georgia took the lead with a touchdown with 10 seconds left. So here's Josh Dobbs with the Hail Mary from the 50-yard line. Jawan Jennings goes up to grab it. Tennessee survives by 3 in Athens. Back to you.
Wow, Brendan, I do not believe that. And, of course, Tennessee head coach Butch Jones was here at Cincinnati a few years ago, and his team pulling one out.
I kind of do believe it. There's so many close games Tennessee has lost over the last few years. To finally have it even out and go their way does not surprise me a lot.
Pulling one out that late. Very remarkable. Here's Marlon Mack, turn it upfield. A spin move, gets a block on the edge. Still on his feet, running inside Cincinnati territory all the way down to the 33-yard line. Cortez Broughton and Landon Brazil had to come back to catch him.
And this is the jet sweep, but instead of using Rodney Adams, they use Mack to do it, and he just is running through people. He's another guy you can't arm tackle. Got great acceleration, and you know, him or Adams running that jet sweep, that's a tough one to stop.
29-yard gain. That's a rushing gain. So Mack at 42 yards. He came in within 100 of the all-time career rushing lead for USF. Flowers pulls it down, now decides to throw to the far side, and this is run ahead by McCants. Tyree McCants all the way inside the 15, down near the 10.
And the ability of Quentin Flowers to keep a play alive and run around the back there. You see him, he's breathing a little hard because he did a lot of work to get outside and make that throw.
21-yard gain. It's first down from the 11 for USF. This is their third possession of the game. Fakes the handoff. Gives it to Adams. Adams pushed inside the 5. He'll be down there. Cortez Broughton used his 297 pounds to push him to the ground.
Here's where USF loves to go fast, and Cincinnati was able to get a change before they run off the play.
Dearness Johnson pinballing his way into the end zone. Touchdown. Well, they call him the junkyard dog, and those were some hard-earned yards. A 5-yard touchdown run for Dearness Johnson.
And he hit Eric Wilson, the inside linebacker, and bowls him over. And then once he got by an unblocked Wilson, it was open to get to the end zone. But you don't see that very often. Eric Wilson came into this game with 42 tackles, averaging over 10 a game. And for him to miss an easy one down there on the goal line is a bit surprising.
Point after, snuck inside the left upright by Nadelman.
Quick answer.
Makes it a 10-6 game. And yes, a quick answer. Dearness Johnson, who had a career-high 3 touchdowns last weekend in the loss to Florida State. Well, you can kick off your week 4 of the NFL Sunday with us right here on ESPN. It begins at 10 a.m. Eastern with NFL Insider Sunday edition. Trey, Adam Schefter, Louis Riddick, and the guys, all the injury news, the early breaking stories. And then at 11, it's the new Sunday NFL Countdown crew. Chris Berman, Trent Dilfer, Charles Woodson, Matt Hasselback, and Randy Moss. They take you right up to kickoff. Both shows also stream live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. And there are some Bulls fans here. Dearness Johnson, we have not seen his brother Tashumbi Johnson yet.
Right,
the play on the other side for Cincinnati.
Number 6,
well, there he is. There he is in your screen. He's playing on special teams right now.
Brother against brother. I never had a chance to play against my brother. I think that would have been fun. I mean, we played in the backyard all the time, but never in a real game.
Mike Boone from the goal line. He had a nice run back earlier in this quarter. Was brought down by the kicker Nadelman. This time he's caught at the 30 and ushered out by Sadat. Let's take a look back at our Buick Drive recap. A quick response, Ray, for USF.
Yeah, just 4 plays on the drive, and Marlon Mack got it going, breaking tackles and getting it going on his jet sweep. Not usually the guy that does that, but he's pretty good at it. And then Flowers kept things alive. Another big play, this one in the passing game, and then they finish it off with the junkyard dog punching it into the end zone. He looks pretty docile right there. But you get him out on the field, yeah, different deal.
Sideline's a different story. Tion Green between the tackles to the 33, picks up 4 on first down, wrapped up by Nigel Harris.
First down production is key for UC, particularly with a younger quarterback. When you get behind the chains, it puts all the pressure on the quarterback. They're doing a nice job keeping Ross Trail out of those situations here early.
Somebody looked like they jumped for USF, but no flag. Now a late flag comes in. Here's Green, who's hit beyond the marker. We'll have a first down at the 41-yard line. Tajee Fullwood with the tackle, and that's shaking up Tion Green. He took a pretty good lick right over by the Bearcats sideline.
Yeah, if that was the called offsides, it was delayed with the throw of the flag. But it looks like that's what it's going to be. It was one of the defensive tackles for USF.
Offside, defense, number 99. Penalties decline. Result of the play, first down.
Yeah, Kevin Bronson, the guy who was offsides, but there was a nice hit at the end of this. This is how you want to send a message to a running back. Whop, just bringing it up in there and making that crack.
So Green has departed to the sideline for now, and Boone back in. A pass to the far side of the field is hauled in at the 45-yard line by Khalil Lewis. Ronnie Hoggins there on the coverage, 13-yard gain, and that throw went all the way across the field from Trail.
That showed you some real arm strength with Trail, and he still overthrew it just a little bit, but a great job by the receiver of going up and pulling it in.
Two receivers stacked to each side. First down, Cincinnati at the 45 of USF. Showing a blitz off the edge. Here they come. Trail, though, well protected for now, but then runs out of time and is able to give it up to Boone.
I don't know if it was a lateral or a forward pass, but Trail was wrapped up. He recognized Mike Boone next to him, and he's just going to pitch it to him. Here's Boone down here, and he's like, hey, I'll take it. But I think it was forward. That might be considered a pass.
Second down 4.
Let's see what they put that in the scorebook as. Nate Godwin, though, was the one who blitzed, and he had Trail wrapped up, probably thought he had a sack, and then all of a sudden the play was headed the other direction.
And that's something that a mobile quarterback, a decent running quarterback, as they do call the play a run, but he can keep plays alive, and Cincinnati's going to let this thing wind down.
That's the end of the first quarter.
A nice matchup tonight here in the American Conference between USF and Cincinnati. 1 quarter so far here in the Queen City with the Bearcats driving on a pleasant Saturday night. It's 10-6 USF at the end of 1. South Florida with the 4-point lead as we begin quarter number 2 from Cincinnati. A reminder, though, Week 4 Monday Night Football matchup is an NFC battle between Eli Manning and the 2-1 Giants and the undefeated Vikings at the new U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis. 8:15 Eastern on ESPN, and our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's at 6, which also streams live on Watch ESPN.
Sam Bradford's done a great job picking it up late with the Vikings.
Well, he has played very well since coming over in the trade.
And they got themselves a defense up there in Minnesota, too.
Mike Boone running right. Block on the edge from Cole, but then coming up, make the initial hit, Devin Abraham. All the way to the 29. That's a 16-yard gallop right there from Mike Boone.
And really well blocked. Boone wasn't even challenged until he got to Abraham, who was unblocked. He's had 3 runner, and Abraham was able to make the tackle, but not until they picked up 9-10 yards.
Nice start for Boone tonight. 3 carries, 23 yards after that pickup.
Like to take a deep shot here, Cincinnati. Empty set.
Trail throws underneath for a gain of close to 5 for Nate Cole. Nate Godwin with the tackle. Cole came in 4th in the conference, averaging about 6 catches per game and leading the team with 4 TD catches.
Yeah, he was the most experienced guy coming back from the previous season in terms of receivers.
Right back to Cole. First down. Run out of bounds by Nigel Harris at the 11.
Yeah, this is just a quick out where they take the wide receiver and run him up the field, creating that area in the flat. And you know, you got a linebacker that has to make that coverage. Nigel Harris, that's a long way for a guy to go covering a fast slot receiver.
And you're going to add a face mask on top of that. That's our referee tonight, Tracy Jones. So that'll be half the distance to the goal. So it will be 1st and goal for Cincinnati from the 6.
Penalty called on Harris, and he kind of questioned it a little bit. He was asking his teammates, what'd I do? Cincinnati loading up now in this area of the field with 2 tight ends in the ball game.
In motion goes Lewis. Hand off Boone, straight ahead, powering inside the 5. Stopped it inside the 2, close to the 1 by Devin Abraham.
And they ran behind the tight end DJ Dowdy, and then they had the other tight end Cogswell come across and throw a block, and the timing of the play was perfect. Created a nice little hole for Boone to get up in.
USF able to get a quick substitution package in, and here into the end zone. Did he make it? Yes. Touchdown. Well, how about the redshirt freshman Ross Trail at the beginning of this football game tonight?
Yeah, I don't want to jinx him, but he's got the perfect game going a little bit right now. I haven't really seen certainly not an egregious mistake. And this is a nice play call. Zach Taylor, basically it was similar to the previous play, but this time I think that was a quarterback keep all the way, not a read. And he followed Tyler Cogswell right up into the end zone.
1-yard rushing touchdown for Trail, who had a rushing TD in his first career start last week against Miami of Ohio. Paisley on for the extra point. Left-footed kicker went wide right with the first one. And this one had a little bit of a knuckle at the end, but it goes through, and it's 13-10.
Oh, it's always wild when that kicker's struggling at the front end of those extra points. But here he is, just right up behind the tight end. Nobody home. And a great job of running this offense and then running the football by the redshirt freshman.
Cincinnati's reclaimed a 3-point lead, and they hope to get Hayden Moore back next week healthy, but they have to be happy with what they're seeing right there, Ray. Here's a redshirt freshman, second start, and Trail, we're seeing the maturation process.
No doubt, and that's smart quarterbacking. You go to those big guys in front and keep them pumped up, keep them fired up, congratulate them, get them going a little bit. That's leadership, and that's pretty intelligent for a quarterback. Take care of those big boys up front because they've taken care of him. Ross Trail 8 of 11 here to start this ball game, and he got his running touchdown as well. But the way he has run this offense has been almost pitch perfect so far tonight.
So it sounds like, and we talked about his performance in week 1. Maybe he needed to do a little better job of working through his progressions in the passing game. Are you seeing improvement there?
Yeah, I haven't seen him force a single ball yet into coverage. I've seen him throw them away. I've seen him do the checkdowns. So far, so good for Ross Trail.
Ryan Jones kicks it away for Cincinnati. Just inside the end zone comes Adams. Watch out for Adams. Gets a block. Goes far side. Gets run out by guess who? The kicker, Ryan Jones, and a late flag comes out. Well, they're going to get the kicker on a personal foul. Let's find out.
Some kind of shenanigans over there, but that's we've seen a couple kickers make tackles here tonight.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, kicking team number 84, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, I guess Nate Cole came in late after the kicker Jones had made the stop.
Oh, yeah, yep. That's definitely out of bounds. You got to pull up. You got to know where you're at on the football field. You got to be aware on the sidelines too. He rolled up a couple of guys up on the Bulls sideline. It's dangerous down there.
So with the penalty, it's a first down for USF from their own 41-yard line. They shift the tight end Dillon to the right side. Play fake. Flowers looked like he wanted to go deep. Now he's going to take off. Gets a block on the edge from Adams and runs out of bounds at the 46-yard line of Cincinnati. About a 15-yard run for the quarterback.
And that's one of the things that Flowers does extremely well. He has great pocket presence, and when there's nowhere to throw the football, he'll find an escape route. And then what he did at the end, get out of bounds and not take a hit. He's able to run the football as much as he does in this offense because he's very smart about taking care of himself at the end of the play.
Hand off. Dearness Johnson hit and brought down by Jalen Miner.
Well, that was a major hit. This is how you play inside linebacker, Jalen Miner. He's just going to follow his keys. Here he is, 33. He's coming in from the backside. He beats the tackle across, and that's a good hit and the way to wrap things up and knock down a big back in Dearness Johnson.
Held him to just a gain of 1 yard. Three receivers up top. Motioning out goes Dearness Johnson. Pump fake. Flowers taking a shot across the middle. Complete to the tight end. Dillon. Edwards with the tackle. And Okena Dillon with a rare catch. for USF.
Yeah, they don't get it to the tight ends very often, but when they do, they get big plays. Wilcox is averaging 36 yards per catch, and Elkanah Dillon 19.
After the 18-yard gain, throw out to Valdez-Scantling to the sideline, tiptoeing along that sideline. Let's see where they mark him out. He will have a first down inside the 15 at the 14. Zach Edwards had a shot at him but missed.
Well, you're going to watch Zach Edwards take some abuse, because you see right there the first punch and then a little stiff arm. And if you stop your legs when you come in to make a tackle, you're going to get beat up just like Edwards did.
USF trying to respond. Quick screen pass. Valdez-Scantling stopped at the 9 by Antonio Kennard. Close to a 5-yard pickup.
And there's another wrinkle off of that jet sweep look. USF does this package as well as anybody, and they have more derivatives, different plays off of that look than anyone I've ever seen. That one, fake jet, bubble to the backside.
Second down and 5 from the 9. Flowers pump fake, running inside the 5. He's into the end zone, touchdown. And even though he threw that little fake in there, Ray, that looked like a design run for Flowers, a 9-yard touchdown scamper.
This is the tackle trap that they run. They get an empty formation, so it's 5-on-5, and then you're going to see your big tackle right here. He's going to pull around and get the block that keys the run, and nobody sees him coming. And now he takes care of the edge guy. It's cut up inside because Flowers, he can always find, he reads it inside out in terms of where he's going to hit it up the field. That was Amichia making a big block for him.
Point after, up and through. And University of South Florida responds right back. Back and forth we go here in Cincinnati. Now a 4-point lead for the Bulls.
And Flowers starts to bloom here a little bit. Get the ball in his hands, and things are going to grow.
That's a co-defensive coordinator for the Bearcats, Robert Prunty, talking with his defense. They've allowed touchdowns each of the last 2 offensive possessions for USF. Now for our championship drive update, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. How about that game last night? Washington, boy, UW
put one on them, didn't
dominating, and Michigan holds on to win by a touchdown today over Wisconsin. And coming up at short time from now at 8 Eastern on ABC, that big matchup, number 3 Louisville, number 5 Clemson at Lamar Jackson. See the Heisman favorite here early?
He's got to be in my mind. I don't know that, you know, it's early, let's put it that way, but nobody has been more dominant in college football thus far.
Shorter kick. Let's take it at the 5. And Lewis ridden down at about the 21. Johnny Hoggins with the tackle on special teams.
Talking about Lamar Jackson and his touchdown prolificness, if that's a word.
Yes.
More than most teams in all of FBS. I mean, that's just mind-boggling, the production that he's had in this offense that they're running now with Coach Petrino, who, you know, we talked to Coach Tuberville about it a little bit, and he said Bobby's gone over to the dark side with all this spread offense, and he says if you've got a quarterback like that, look out, and that's why he's done it.
Well, Lamar could be Darth Vader for this year. The dark side's working right now for Louisville.
You know, we all know how that one ended, though.
You Star Wars buff. Trail. Not much there.
Augie Sanchez shot the gap, came up in there, and on that particular play, and this is an assignment defense for USF, he had quarterback, and he got him. And that's, you know, I would hate it if I had to play linebacker that way. Okay, you got this just one guy. When you're in the middle, you want to go make every play. But with the offenses and the options that they have now, you've got to stick to your assignment. And Sanchez did a nice job.
Here's the pass, and that is picked off. Mazzy Wilkins.
That's Khalid McGee who steps in front.
And Devin Green was the intended receiver. And the pick.
Watch the right side of your screen, and it's interesting because this one is the mistake that Ross Trail made. I mean, he's timing it out, throwing to his receiver, but he didn't widen the scope of his vision enough to see McGee slide back in there and steal it.
So the interception for McGee, and it's a first down for USF at the 28 of Cincinnati. A Miami native, a sophomore.
I'd like to take shots after big plays.
Flowers elects to go far side. That was a bit of a dangerous pass, and that is incomplete for Valdez-Scantling.
Leonard Stevens timed it out perfectly to break that thing up. And you're right, this is a dangerous throw, and they wanted to go deep. This is what Flowers was looking for. The penetration kind of threw him off, and then the great close and finish and wrap by Stevens to knock that ball out of there.
4 receivers up top.
Unbalanced. No, they got a guy down low.
Flowers tackled by Muhan, Kevin Muhan, who will lose about 3.
Did a little stunt there. The defensive tackle went to the outside. Muhan, the defensive end, looped around behind him, and the Bulls offensive line didn't pick it up, and you got a tackle for a loss from this UC defense, pulling some tricks out of the bag under Coach Robert Prunty.
USF trying to take advantage of the Cincinnati turnover. We're looking at 3rd and 13. Bulls are 2 of 5 on 3rd down tonight. Mack comes in motion into the backfield. And a flag at the snap.
Offside. Defense. Number 96. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Called on Cortez Broughton. Defensive tackle.
And they're trying to time up the center. The center for the Bulls, Cameron Ruff, what he'll do is he's looking back through his legs at the quarterback to see what the call is, and then when he goes back down, he'll move that ball a little bit, and they're trying to jump it.
Now watch the center, Ruff.
Yeah, he'll look through his legs to get not only you see the clapping, but to get things started.
Another flag comes out. Flowers dropped back at the 37 by Alex Price. That flag, though, may be in the vicinity of a hold.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Offense. Number 73. Penalties declined.
Wow.
4th down. Timeout.
It's William Atterbury is down for USF. So it turned out to be a personal foul, hands to the face. And it will be 4th down. So while they attend to Atterbury, we'll step aside here in Cincinnati. USF starting right tackle William Atterbury helped to his feet, not putting any weight on his right leg. So they bring the cart out, and his teammates come out to encourage him after the injury.
It's great to see the concern of the teammates, but it also makes you wonder as far as the severity of this injury. Let's hope it's not as bad as what indications are.
Atterbury, a redshirt freshman out of Clearwater, Florida, and Central Catholic High School.
It's a lonely ride. I'm taking it. All right, here's the replay of the face mask, and right there, that's the deal. You can't put your hands up into the face like that. And then Atterbury's on the top of the screen, 78, and he basically gets sideswiped by the pile. And that's not a good sign.
I saw him twist down on that right knee. USF punting. Hernandez angling towards the far corner. It's going to bounce out of bounds inside the 10. They'll mark it at the 8. For a 28-yard punt. We'll kick off your Week 4 NFL Sunday with us on ESPN at 10 a.m. Eastern. NFL Insiders Sunday edition with Trey, Adam Schefter, Louis Riddick, and the guys. All the injury news and the early breaking stories. And then at 11, the new Sunday NFL Countdown crew of Chris Berman, Trent Dilfer, Charles Woodson, Matt Hasselbeck, and Randy Moss take you up to kickoff. Both shows stream live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
There's a few unbeatens left. And here's the schedule of them. It's always fun to watch and see how far somebody can go. I know the 72 Dolphins are always interested in that.
Yes, they are. And Cincinnati turned it over on their last possession, which has been the only turnover of the game, as trail was picked off.
And this is a big series for him, Mark, because that was some adversity. That was a mistake, and now how will he respond?
And straight ahead for a gain of about 3. And Cincinnati fans probably happy to see Tion Green back in, who left after getting banged up earlier.
Yeah, he took a shot early on and from Fullwood, and he did come back into the ball game, and now he's back in again, and that's a great sign. Now, he's a load at 230 pounds. Tion Green is no fun to tackle.
Second down at 7 for the Bearcats. Back to Tion Green, goes to the edge. They're tripped up at the 16 by Jamon Thomas. Gain of 5. See where they spot it. It's going to be 3rd and short, 3rd and long 1.
Thomas came in there and made a nice hit and squared him up, and he's outweighed by 45 pounds. So you got to have a little courage when you're back there taking on the big running backs. 3rd and short. They like to go fast. They weren't able to.
Bearcats 1 of 2 on 3rd down tonight. In motion, Gray, fake it to him, pitch it to Green, 1st down and more, and he would have had a lot more. And Nico Sautel not got him by an ankle and pulled him down.
And they use that jet motion to freeze the linebackers, and you see one of them, even Sanchez, he goes the opposite way of the play, and that's what I'm talking about as a linebacker and playing assignment football. Sometimes you take yourself right out of the play and you feel useless, and you're like, Coach, I could have made that play. But unfortunately, if they go to the guy that you were supposed to get, that's not good.
Green averaging almost 8 yards per carry tonight, fighting his way through, now breaks free to the edge, stutter steps, makes a maneuver to the 45-yard line before he's caught by Jamon Thomas. 24-yard pickup.
Made a real nice block by the tight end here in the cut off of it right there. Boom. Dowdy is able to go off of one guy and pick up another, and Green actually ran his own guy over. He runs over Dowdy getting through that hole. I think he's indiscriminate in terms of who he's going to hit when he gets the football.
They get Boone in there now. 5th straight running play for the Bearcats. This for 4 up near midfield. Nigel Harris and Augie Sanchez tackle him.
This has to warm the cockles of Tommy Tuberville's heart to see his football team able to run the football like this with consistency. That's something they talked about way back in the spring, and it's been a slow rise, a developmental situation, but tonight it's manifesting in some good progress.
You saw average at 154 up to 126 right now, and a 2nd and 6. Trails pass, that's into the arms of Nate Cole, and he'll have a 1st down to the 43 of USF and an 8-yard gain.
You know, they had a great slot receiver here for a lot of years, Shaq Washington, and Cole was able to study under him and learn from him, because there wasn't a better slot receiver around in terms of what they asked him to do in this offense, and that's the role that Cole has stepped into, and he's done a great job with it. Nice balance in this offense. A lot of times you'll see it tipped extremely towards the pass, and that's something that they wanted to change.
And that last pass play snapped 5 straight runs, and is he going to pass it a 2nd time? He can't. Sacked by Kirk Livingstone for a loss of 9.
And that's a young quarterback sack. To me, that's on Ross Trail. He had forever back there. He has to either get out of there or he's got to throw it away. You can't sit back there and let guys like Livingstone keep working and end up getting you down.
He pushes the ball back into Bearcat territory at their own 49 and 2nd and 18. Trail across the middle. Cole being ridden by Abraham all the way up close to a 1st down at the 35 of USF. It's only going to be a few yards shy after a 16-yard gain.
I thought I was at a rodeo for a minute there. Abraham was bucking the Bronco, he was trying to get the ball out rather than finish the tackle. And Cole said, okay, I'll just keep running.
That was about an 8-second ride. It could qualify as a rodeo. 2 of 3 on third down so far tonight. Third and short, 3rd and 2.
The blitz looks like Sanchez was up there giving it a look. We'll see if he finishes it.
Sanchez is coming. That blitz picked up, taking a shot far side. Caught. Is he in bounds? That's Avery Johnson. Yes, it'll be 1st and goal.
Great job from Avery Johnson of giving his quarterback room to the outside. If he had run his route in or closer to the sideline, he wouldn't have had room for Trail to throw it out there and where he could get it. So outstanding route and then a finish to make the catch, and that's a wonderful throw from Ross Trail.
26-yard gain, 1st and goal from the 7. 4 minutes to go in this first half.
Fresh receivers in for Cincinnati.
To Shumby Johnson, the older brother of Ernest Johnson, is in the slot in the near side. Fade. A little pushing, but no flag. Devin Gray defended by Dietrich Nichols. 2nd down.
Devin Gray was a great discovery for this UC football program. He's a transfer from Sierra College, where he had a great year last year. 69 catches, 11 touchdowns, but he wasn't getting a whole lot of looks, you know, and all of a sudden he got a call, and it was Cincinnati, and it was a perfect place for him to end up, as they lost, as I said earlier, 6 of their top receivers on their 2 deep. They needed a guy to come in and make plays, and Gray has done it.
Well, 5 straight running plays have been followed by 5 consecutive passing plays for Cincinnati. They hand off here, and it's bottled up at the 5.
And Nico Sawtell, the first guy to get up in there, shoot a gap, and he didn't quite make the tackle, but he slowed things down for the rest of his guys to get in there. But now we got a 3rd and 5, 3rd and goal, I should say, from the 6, and this is pressure time. This is where your quarterback has to be able to make a play.
Gray's the receiver left. Lewis the receiver right. Rolling right. Trail taking a shot for Lewis. Did he get a foot down? Yes, touchdown. 6-yard TD catch. Khalil Lewis. Back come the Bearcats to reclaim the lead.
Lewis is working on Ronnie Hawkins. They're going to roll Trail to the right, and he just throws a bullet while on the run. That's just perfectly thrown. I mean, Hawkins was in great position, but that ball just had too much velocity on it, and he threw it right outside where only his guy could get it. That's a really nice play on the goal line.
That left foot just barely got in, and it definitely looked like he was able to complete the catch to the ground. That should be a good catch and score for Cincinnati. 3 minutes left in this first half. Josh Paisley on for the point after.
Still got that hook on that ball.
Got it through. He's hit 2 of his 3 point afters now tonight, and it's a 2017 game.
This is outstanding. Ross Trail on the run, throwing a strike right to the outside, got it in the bread basket. Lewis able to get it down, and Ross Trail knows we're doing pretty good right now.
Brendan Fitzgerald back in studio. Coming up at halftime, Charles Arbuckle joins me. He breaks down the dual threat quarterback of South Florida, Quentin Flowers. Some wild finishes in the SEC and the ACC. We'll show you the highlights and update you on the top 10 throwdowns of the weekend. Mark, see you in a few minutes.
We'll look forward to that, Brendan. You and Charles coming up at the intermission. First career touchdown pass for redshirt freshman Ross Trail. Found Khalil Lewis, and it's a 3-point lead for Cincinnati. A 12-play drive went 92 yards. How about this balance, Ray, of the 12 plays? 6 runs, 6 passes, and the young man has his first career TD pass.
I'm equally impressed that Cincinnati has run 6 more plays than USF, and they have more time of possession. And that's one thing Tommy Tuberville said that they need to do. Now, Willie Taggart, he's used to running twice as many plays as his opponent and possessing the ball a lot more. But that's not been the case here tonight, as this UC offense has done a great job of mixing the run and pass.
So 3 minutes left first half. It's pooched by Jones to the near side, and it's caught And stepping out of bounds at the 26. Well, it's going to bring Flowers in the offense back out for USF. How's he doing in that intermediate route tonight?
Well, he's made a couple nice throws, and then he's had a few sail on him. You see that one was high right there. And this one is actually a very good throw, and that's what they're looking out of him. I know he had another one that he sailed completely over a receiver's head, but that was just an early one, and I can attribute that to adrenaline. But you see where he's been thus far, and that's good stuff for him. The shorter stuff that he's been able to complete is what this offense has really lacked, and it hurt them last week in particular against Florida State. They just couldn't get anything in the intermediate area, and a lot of that was on Flowers.
USF begins at their own 28. Running right, Mack trying to hit the edge. Does pick up a couple of yards. Mack right now at 51 rushing yards away from becoming the all-time leading rusher in USF history.
Bearcats defense wants to force those jet sweeps to go lateral all the way to the edge, and that time they were able to do it. Where you get hurt on those is when they get up in the alley and that running back or whoever's got the ball, whether it be a receiver or a back, they blow right by you.
Flowers with time, goes far side, a little underthrown, but caught at the 40, and then running all the way up to the 45 of Cincinnati is the tight end Dylan.
First of all, great protection. Flowers has time. He can step up into this throw. And even though it's a little low, that's better than what he's done in the past, overthrowing these things. And then Dylan is able to get himself open with a coverage from a linebacker. Kennard couldn't keep up with him on the outside move.
Second catch of the night for Dylan. Flowers stepping up, throwing deep. That's going to be overthrown for Valdez-Scantling. A little pushing, but no flag, and it looks like the UC defender wanted an offensive pass interference call.
Those are rare. Usually those come on like a pick route or a blatant push off, but this ball wasn't even catchable as when Flowers stepped up into it. And that, you know what, I can see why people were upset. That ball wasn't even close to being catchable, and the defender had kind of gotten to his path, so I understand the sentiment and the continued booing, but I like the call or non-call.
Here's the catch and run for Bronson. He's going to have a first down.
He's telling somebody about it. Beat Alex Thomas on the coverage, and this is more of a different look, I think, for this offense, and more intermediate throws. This is something that they've worked on and talked about, and they're succeeding in it right now.
Flowers pump fake again, taking a shot across the middle, and that's caught. Adams inside the 5. He's tackled there. It'll be first and goal USF. Down by Tyrell Gilbert.
Adams is so good at body position. He was able to step in front of the corner and show Flowers his numbers. That's an easy throw on a post route when you flatten it out like that. That's good stuff. And we have another player down. This time it's Gilbert.
He was the one on the coverage. Gilbert, a sophomore from here in Cincinnati. He had a 58-yard pick 6 in the opener against UT Martin this year. Was the first pick 6 for Cincinnati in 3 years. There's a couple of picks this year, but helped to his feet. Looks to be all right.
You know, when I see that, it tells me that more than likely the wind got knocked out of you, and takes a minute to get that breathing back, and then you're good to go. And he hopped up and looks like he's no worse for wear right now. It's an awful feeling. You get away with the wind knocked out of you, just can't get it back.
USF in the red zone. They have scored 16 touchdowns and 20 red zone trips this season, scoring 19 of the 20. Mack, touchdown. And Marlon Mack, the Mack attack.
This is a numbers game. They got trips all the way to the sideline, and so they got enough hats in the backfield, and then just great running by Mack. He saw where that crack was, and guys, the only opportunity they had were arm tackles. You're not going to get him down with just an arm. Nice drive by Flowers. I thought he was outstanding in terms of the throws and the passes he was able to make.
And a 5-play drive in just a minute 20. 67 yards, and the point after is true and straight. And it's a 24-20 USF lead. Marlon Mack on pace to become the all-time leading rusher in USF history tonight. Now has 9 carries, 48 yards.
Yeah, there is a flag in the end zone.
Going to make him
a lot of times
take it on the kickoff.
If it's, they'll just enforce it after the kick, or on the kick, I should say.
A quick strike offense for USF, Ray. They did that in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, they answered. 6-play drive.
The try was good. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 96, the 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Against Cortez Broughton. Well, celebrating its 12th year, sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets. Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship money. USF's going to kick it off from midfield.
These are times where you might want to try an onside kick, but it looks like Cincinnati's up closer than normal, and they're definitely aware of that.
And then we'll just kick it deep and onto the back of the end zone. If so, it'll come out to the 25. Well, Quentin Flowers continuing to impress not only on the long throws, but the intermediate throws today.
Yeah, you're going to see him. He's up in the slot here, and he's going to go and then stutter a little bit and then go again and show his numbers. And he just shakes the defender, and it's really an easy throw. You saw the little pump fake. It turned actually the defender entirely around Gilbert there. And that's what got him into the scoring range. Rodney Adams runs some of the best routes. He is hard to keep track of with the brilliant speed that he has and then the acceleration. Those double moves, if you can't accelerate, the DB can make up the ground. Rodney Adams goes from 0 to 60 as quick as anybody.
Mike Boone, the back for Cincinnati. With all 3 of their timeouts, a minute 40 left in this first half. Swung out to Boone. Boone makes a move at the 30. Hit at the 35. And rides Tazi forward to about the 37 for a 12-yard gain and a first down.
Boy, he got a great block on the edge from Khalil Lewis, who caught that touchdown pass earlier. And that allowed him to have some extra room up inside. And I can tell you this, Mike Boone likes to go up against defensive backs. They don't tackle quite so hard.
Letting the clock roll here. Trail with time, throws far side and finds a wide open Cogswell, the tight end, who lowers the shoulder and applies a hit on Dietrich Nichols. Left him in his wake, and it's a first down near midfield.
Outstanding job, Ross Trail, going through his progression. And that's what this new offense is. And that's in large part why Gunnar Keel isn't playing quarterback here. They changed the offense to something Keel has never done. And they all started even in spring training. And the 2 guys ahead of him picked it up quicker and better.
Boone reaches to make the catch. He's got a head of steam. Being tackled there at the 30. And now with just over a minute to go, it'll be a first down after a 19-yard gain.
And this is basically a run to me. And you'll see offenses do this a lot. Just quick flares out to the running back. It's an extended handoff, if you will. But you get the edge that much quicker. And they love to get Boone out in space.
Tion Green is the receiver wide right. Here's Trail looking left, now looking to the right side, goes through his progressions and just throws it out to live another down and stop the clock with 47 seconds left.
Yeah, they sent Green on a go route, trying to draw a matchup that was favorable to him, and it was covered up pretty well. But he'll come out of the game, I'm sure, after running that. No, they're going to line him right back up in the same spot. those backs for Cincinnati will really do their own subbing between Boone and Green.
Looking in his direction, he stopped around, and then Trail started to throw, had it knocked down. That looks to be a live ball and is recovered by Trail at the 40. So they're saying that was a fumble, and it's a loss of 9, and Cincinnati will use a timeout.
Yeah, Wallake just keeps working. He's rushing around the edge from the top, and you're right, Trail held the ball too long. Now that pump fake that he had, probably a good idea, not that he pulled it down. But you're going to see the pressure is just relentless. Keep running, keep running. Quarterback's got to know that buzzer has to go off in your head that it's time to get rid of this thing. And that was definitely a fumbled football. Good job by Trail getting on top of it and maintaining possession here.
Now, Wallake knocked it out, but Mike Love almost recovered it for USF. But a loss of 9 puts him back almost to the USF 40 with 36 seconds left. Bearcats still have 2 timeouts remaining, but the line to gain for a first down is the 20.
That might be the line to gain to get a field goal opportunity too, with the way Paisley's been kicking the ball tonight.
Yeah, Paisley, again, Andrew Gantz, who's been the normal place kicker, has been out with a hip injury. Josh Paisley 2 of 4 this year in field goal attempts, as long as a 28-yarder.
Officials are talking to Coach Tuberville down on the sideline. Not sure what the issue is. But Tommy is not shy about telling you if he's got a little something on his mind. Enjoyed our chat with him the other day.
Always fun to hear Coach Tuberville.
You don't hold back a whole lot.
3rd and 19. Trail underneath. Tion Green dropped it.
A classic case of running before you had the football. His head turned upfield, and those eyes went off the football, and that's when you drop it. And this, what they're trying to do is run everybody off. So they got all vertical routes. They drop it down underneath, and they like the matchup. You know, Sanchez against Tion Green in open field, but Tion, he got ahead of himself a little bit.
Well, the offense was kind of lingering on the field like they were considering going for this, but Ray, with 33 seconds left, you can't risk.
No, you
at
have
this position of the field, can you?
Not on a 4th and close to 20.
Yeah.
You have to punt this football. Now they have done a quick kick where the quarterback has kicked the football, but not on a situation like this. So they're just going to take the delay of game and bring out the punt team from there.
Which Willie Taggart does not have to accept. He can decline.
No, and they are declining it.
Yep.
But it still got the
delay of game. Offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Actually, the clock was stopped, so it gained nothing. It was.
It's the Ernest Johnson back at his 10. Johnson had an 83-yard punt return for touchdown at Syracuse in week 3 this year.
Yeah, I'm going to punt this out the end zone. I'm not even worried about backspinning it if I'm them.
Bounces at the 5 and into the end zone. Tion Green was hoping to down it inside the 5, but could not. It's going to come out.
I'm betting that Tion Green did not play shortstop back in the day.
Ground ball got between the wickets, did it?
Yeah. Yeah, it got on him quick. I know the feeling.
You know, obviously he had the drop moments ago, but all in all, he's had a really nice half, Tion Green. I mean, he's
10 carries, 94 yards so far, and 1 catch for 3 yards. But that drop might have cost him points, and that's why it's critical, because it would have I don't know that they'd have gotten the first down on that play necessarily, but they would have gotten into some field goal range, you would think.
Well, you know, Quentin Flowers is thinking,
take a knee,
head to the locker room with a 4-point lead.
I know what you were thinking. He's had enough time. As
wanted
explosive,
to take a shot,
right?
yeah.
As explosive as this offense is, but I don't think they were going to fool anybody. So
that's a fun first half, though, right?
It was very competitive.
So 24-20 lead for USF over Cincinnati.
It's a far cry from last year's halftime in this game, where USF had a 51-3 lead.
And Cincinnati turned it over 5 times in the first half last year. Brendan Fitzgerald, Charles Altbuckle in the studio for the College Football Halftime Report.
Thanks very much, Mark. 4-point lead for South Florida. They average 46 points per game, so kind of right on that number. We know South Florida likes to get up and down. Cincinnati keeping up with them. We got a good ball game after 30 minutes in Cincinnati.
We do, and I think you see what's going on. In particular for South Florida, you got to have a guy like Quentin Flowers to make plays, and he does it with his arm and his legs. You expect him to do it on the ground. He scored 1 rushing touchdown, but he's been able to throw the ball much more efficiently and effectively. He's done a nice job of getting the ball down the field, and we talked about it before the game. This is the one thing he was have to do. Nice throw to the outside, receiver turning back to catch it. Now another one. You can see 2 easy throws that he can make where the receivers are going to him, and then now another one coming back to him again. Those are the kind of plays you want to have for a guy. When I watched him last week, some of his balls were high, they were away. Today or tonight, he's really in rhythm and getting it out to the receivers. And that drive before the half, when they were able to score, he looked much more comfortable. He was late on one, but his receiver bailed him out. But he was able to march down the field, and that's what they want to see out of Quentin Flowers. 9
straight games, they've averaged more than 200 yards on the ground for the Bulls. Cincinnati's doing a pretty good job of slowing them down. Is Flowers good enough to beat them just with his arm?
No, he has to do a little bit of both. He was able to score a touchdown with his legs, and I think you're going to see more of that. What you do usually with a guy that's versatile and a dual-threat quarterback, you can get him throwing the football if they're going to take things away. Tommy Tuberville is known to do that. And the Cincinnati defense hasn't played real well against the rush, and you can tell they're really trying to stack the box. Their defense hadn't played well, period, 411 yards the last few weeks. But I think what they're trying to do now is take Flowers away and make him work down the field using his arm. Eventually, that's going to open up some seams for his leg.
3 touchdowns in the first half. The slowest touchdown drive was 2 minutes and 7 seconds. They score in a hurry. They did 3 in less than 2 minutes against Florida State. On the Cincinnati side, they are 0-1 in conference. Ross Trail, the backup quarterback, forced into duty because of the injury. He's been solid so far, other than the interception that he threw.
He really has. He's played well. 15 of 22, 162 yards. He's really spreading the ball out well. They're running the football effectively. 110 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. I think with Cincinnati, this is a game that you have at home. You really want to try to win. You know the South Florida Bulls team likes to score. They like to go. You've got to slow them down, get the ball, and take advantage of opportunities. Don't give them extra possessions.
Certainly Houston appears to be the team to beat in the American Conference, but Cincinnati and South Florida like to think they will have a hand in how the American Conference goes as well. You can see the upcoming schedule for the Bearcats.
You are watching the American Conference on ESPN. Just about ready to start the second half from Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati. This matchup between the Bearcats and Bulls, a 24-20 lead for the University of South Florida. Glad you could spend part of your Saturday night with us, along with former Buffalo Bills and Cincinnati Bengals linebacker Ray Bentley. I'm Mark Neely. Ray, all in all, that was a pretty well-played first half on both sides. Did anything, though, in particular stick out for you?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Very well played first half, other than a few missed tackles, but I think a lot of that goes to the efforts of the people with the football. The one thing that I didn't see that I expected to see more of, and do expect to see more of in the second half, is USF taking deep shots. Just 3 of 6 on deep shots, and they really did not spread that offense or that defense out like I thought they would.
You know, speaking of the quarterbacks, you got an experienced guy, Flowers, a younger guy, Trail. What'd you think of the performances?
I thought they both played really good in that first half, and you know the highlights will show it for you. Ross Trail making just his 2nd career start. You could have fooled me. He's dropping dimes in there, throwing balls all over the place. Here's his touchdown pass to Lewis. That was just a perfect throw. And then, you know, the leadership he's shown, you know, getting his guys jacked up on the sidelines. Now, Quentin Flowers, he's been Quentin Flowers, you know, and the one thing I think he's really improved on is throws like that, intermediate range throws. And maybe that's partly why we haven't seen as many deep throws. It's a point of emphasis for them tonight to get that part of their game going. However, Flowers, when he runs with the football, he's incomparable. I think he's the best running quarterback, maybe other than the guy in Louisville, than we've seen.
So we're ready to go in this second half. A short kick is going to bounce at the 18, be taken at the 15-yard line by Boone, who's then pushed out of bounds at the 23. Now for tonight's game track, brought to you by Taco Bell. A look at the comparison between the two quarterbacks, the experienced Flowers and the redshirt freshman Trail. 12 for 16 for Flowers, 15 of 22 for Trail. And each with a rushing touchdown. Trail with his first touchdown pass of his career, hitting Khalil Lewis in that first half.
See what kind of adjustments they made at halftime. See if they can get more production out of Ross Trail.
Take the handoff to Tion Green. The pass well covered at the 30 by Nate Godwin, but Nate Cole there for the reception.
That looked like an RPO to me. We haven't seen a whole lot of those run pass options where the quarterback will decide basically post snap whether he'll throw the ball or hand it off. Something Zach Taylor said we'd see more of.
This time he does give to Green, who stopped about a yard short of the first down. Tion Green in that first half, 10 carries, 94 yards, a rushing touchdown. He was averaging about 9.5 yards per carry.
He played really well. And, you know, he took a big shot early on, too, from Tajay Fullwood, but bounced right back and came in and played great football afterwards.
Came up just a little short on that last run, so 3rd down and 1. And now Green going to block for Trail, who is going to be stopped short. In fact, lose some yardage. Deidrin Sanat, big number 10. Guy who really has been their best defensive lineman. He is quite a player.
He is. He's very good, and he is as good a two-gap kind of football player where he can take that offensive lineman, control him, lock him out, and then see where the football is, throw that guy out of the way, and then show up. Now, that play wasn't one of those, but what that was dogged pursuit. He was the backside defensive end and got all the way over there on an outside running play to make the stop on a 3rd and short.
They couldn't convert on 3rd and 1, lost a couple of yards. Dearness Johnson with a chance to return this from his own 22-yard line. But is pulled down for a minimal return by Eric Wilson, number 23. Here's one of their starting linebackers playing on special teams.
You see why. He made a good football play there.
Nice crowd here at Nippert Stadium. This is the first time for many of the USF players to play in this stadium, because the last time they came to town, they were still using Paul Brown Stadium, the Bengals' home, because Nippert Stadium was being renovated. And this can be a very good home field advantage.
Yeah, it can be extremely loud. However, it hasn't affected anything so far as I can tell tonight.
Flowers hands off. Mack found a bit of a crease. And races up to the 34, knocked down by Zach Edwards for a gain of 6.
Oh, a great block there by Dominique Threet, the senior offensive right guard. 6'1", 330-pounder, took his man and just rode him out of there.
Another carry for Mack. He's going to lose yardage that time. Back to the 31. He'll lose 3 yards.
Kevin Muhan had an inside move, got up the field, and he dominated his man on that play.
Well, the Bearcats had a quick 3-and-out on their first possession of the half. Now their defense will try to hold USF that is, to a 3-and-out here on 3rd and 8. But Flowers throws, and he finds his man for the first down, Rodney Adams, at the 42-yard line.
Adams just runs such great routes, and Mike Tyson had the coverage on this, and he kind of stumbled out of his break, and that's why he got there just an instant slow. Also give credit to the velocity on the ball from Clinton Flowers, throwing that hitch route past the sticks.
Bulls needed 8. They got 11. First down from their 42-yard line, and here's a run, a little gathered by Mack up to the 45. About 3. Antonio Kennard and Cortez Broughton with the tackle.
Well, Quentin Flowers, after he handed that ball off to Mack, he took a shot. And this is how you get after a running quarterback. And that's Brazil, who just, you know what, that's my guy. I'm going to make him pay. And he walloped Flowers pretty good.
Flowers fakes to Mack and then has to avoid a defender running towards the sideline. Pushed out of bounds by Zach Edwards, but that was Sione Tongamoa, who had an opportunity in the backfield to drop him for a loss.
It just shows you how quick and elusive Flowers can be, because I thought Tongamoa was going to have himself one of those woo shots, and all of a sudden it was whoa, because Flowers disappeared.
Bulls have converted a 3rd down on this possession. 4-7, make that 3 of 7 on 3rd down tonight. Give it to Mack, running wide. And a nice tackle in the open field by Eric Wilson. The spot will be key, and it looks like they're going to mark him about a yard short.
Kamani Fitz, he comes in and almost disrupts the handoff. You see him, he's unblocked, and he went for the wrong guy. You know, sometimes it's tough to figure it out. And they hustled it up and went on 4th and 1 here.
And make it. Needed a long yard, picked up about 3. First down after the carry by Marlon Mack.
Great usage of tempo by Willie Taggart, and that's one thing that they try to create advantages with, is there is a Bearcat down on the field.
That's Mike Tyson.
Tyson's had a nice first half. They can ill afford to have him out of this ball game, but that tempo and when they use it is a vital part of this Gulf Coast offense.
Looking at the right hand of Tyson, so as they work on him, we'll step aside. So they just tape a couple of fingers together for Tyson, his middle finger and index finger, and race back into the game here early in this second half. A 4-point lead for USF. Our Week 4 Monday Night Football matchup, an NFC battle between Eli Manning and the 2-1 Giants and the undefeated Vikings at the new U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis. 8:15 Eastern on ESPN, and our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's at 6.
There'll be some deep shots in that game, and I expect a deep shot here from the USF offense. 1st and 10 in plus territory. That's their MO. Haven't seen a whole lot of them tonight, though, and give credit to the Bearcat defense. They are taking it away.
Adams wide left. Valdez Scantling at the top of the screen. Flowers going to go across the middle for Adams. Out of reach, and Adams is wanting a flag from some contact, which must have happened earlier before his break.
Well, he thinks he got held here. And you know what? He had a legitimate case because he beat that defender across the face, and Chris Murphy, all he could do was grab on.
2nd down and 10.
I think Adams had a legitimate beef there.
Both backs in. Ernest Johnson and Marlon Mack. Fake the handoff to Johnson, kept by Flowers, but he's upended by Zach Edwards.
That's a great play by Zach Edwards. And Flowers thought he had something, and he did inside, except that it was a great close by Edwards from outside in. It looked to me like it was going to bust. And then Edwards showed up out of nowhere and made a nice tackle.
So Edwards imploring the crowd to make some noise. They really haven't been a factor tonight, Ray, this home crowd.
It's got to be a disappointment.
Here's Flowers on 3rd and long, far side, but out of reach. Rasheem Bronson, 4th down.
And Flowers just a little off. You can see the body language on him. He's a little distraught. I mean, I believe it's with his own efforts, because he had an open receiver there. As Bronson ran that corner route, and the defender was 3-4 yards away. Had that been a good throw, they'd be moving the chains.
USF now 3 and 9 on 3rd down tonight. Jonathan Edwards to punt. Braden Beard back to receive this punt. He calls for the fair catch and lets it sail over his head, and it is caught and downed inside the 3-yard line by Ronnie Hoggins. So UC will be pinned inside their own 5 after the 43-yard punt. Brendan, thanks. Keeping a close eye on that. That's no bull. Actually, that is a bull, Ray. And I tell you what, that offense of Louisville, that defense at Clemson, good matchup tonight.
Right. And no bull there either. That's a great one.
Rocky the Bull's in the stands tonight.
He's making friends, shaking hands, kissing some babies.
It's that political season, so he's doing what he needs to do.
Now this UC offense needs to do what they need to do, and that's get out of the shadow of their own end zone here. Only 1 turnover thus far in the ball game, an interception by Ross Trail early on that USF was unable to capitalize on.
Cogswell, the tight end in the backfield. The back is Mike Boone. Give it to Boone. He doesn't get anything.
And that's Deidrin Snott again, just destroying the blocker in front of him and then coming over and making the play along with Mike Love. Those guys both are some strong, stout fellas up in that interior line.
Sadat, 6'1", 305 pounds. He's out of Immokalee, Florida, which is a small town in South Florida, but it's produced a lot of great football players. Gang tackled again. Forward progress. Going to have him at the 1. It's not a safety, but Kirk Livingstone and others for the USF defense stopping Mike Boone.
Very conservative play calls down here by Zach Taylor, and I think in a large part he's protecting the young quarterback. He doesn't want him to have a mistake here either. That not only would blow his confidence, but could put USF in great position. So they are taking it very cautious here in the shadow of their own goal line and end zone.
Yeah, the 3rd of 11, throwing from his own end zone, a catch by Lewis, and that'll get him out of the shadow of their own goal post.
This is a great job by Ross Trail of using his eyes and keeping him downfield. He's rolling to the right. He's looking for that out route that they scored a touchdown on earlier, but he's able to get his eyes back and find an open Khalil Lewis to make hay.
Big 3rd down conversion for UC, and on 1st down a pass is completed to the 26, but then immediately stopped there.
Yeah, Hoggins had the coverage on the play, and he was back so far. It was an easy pitch and catch on the slant route to Gray.
He picks up 9, so 2nd down and 1.
Waist down. Cincinnati could take a shot here.
Keep it, and tumbling forward goes Trail. That was Ronnie Hoggins able to trip him up.
Nice read on the zone read by Ross Trail. Haven't seen him carry the football a whole lot yet today.
And off Boone. We're a couple up to the 35.
Augie Sanchez coming up and making that tackle. 30th career start tonight here for Sanchez. He's the brains of the outfit. He makes the calls for that front 7.
Trail gives it. Boone, who got hit in the backfield and is fortunate just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Augie Sanchez tracked him down, but Godwin had a chance in the backfield to tackle him for a loss.
Yeah, and Nate Godwin, he's coming on a blitz right into it. I mean, that's something you dream about, but you got to make the tackle. But Boone proved too elusive.
3rd and 8 from the Bearcats 35. Trail far side. That ball's picked. 2nd interception tonight. This one for Ronnie Hoggins.
And Hoggins, I don't know if he was in the UC huddle or what, but he jumped and played the out route from the beginning. Had they gone on a deep route, it probably would have been 6 points the other way. But here he is. He just sits on that out route and jumps in front of Geddes. And that's just great anticipatory skills, but also knowing your scouting report and knowing what to anticipate. That's a potentially game-changing play by Ronnie Hoggins. And Ross Trail is on the headsets trying to figure out what happened.
2nd turnover of the night. They've both been interceptions for the USF defense, and they have a 1st down. The Bearcats 37. Flowers keeping. Going forward inside the 35 for just about 2.
And that is the 5th time it's been a called run in the ball game for Quentin Flowers. And he only has 20 yards on the deal. So that is a great job by the UC defense in shutting down the running ability of Quentin Flowers tonight.
2nd down 8.
3 receivers up top. It includes Adams and Valdez Scantling. Flowers pump fakes, is going to run with it, and he'll have the 1st down up near the 25-26 yard line. Stopped by Eric Wilson. Going to pick up a 9.
I would love to see Flowers play unbridled because he protects himself really well. He goes down when he wouldn't necessarily have to go down. He doesn't fight a lot for extra yards because he understands that he doesn't want to get beat up. But I'd love to see him in a situation where they totally turn him loose.
Fake the handoff to back. Swing it out to Adams. He has a block there. But is pushed out at about the 22 by Mike Tyson, who's back in the game.
And Tyree McCants, the block you mentioned, he did a great job on the perimeter of taking care of the corner and not letting him get involved. As David Pierce, he took him right out of it.
Second and a long 6, call it 7, and it's a handoff to Mack. He hits the pile at about the 19. Mack continuing to creep closer to becoming the all-time leading rusher in USF history.
I'll tell you who I'm impressed with tonight is Cameron Ruff, number 74, the center for South Florida, the Bulls. He had a difficult time last week against Florida State. And tonight, when you don't call a center's name, or you know, I've been watching him a little bit, he's handled his business much better this evening, and that's made a difference.
Flowers made sure Wilcox was set in the right spot.
They don't have enough guys on the line.
Yeah.
And that's what Flowers was trying to get Wilcox to do. And it would have been an unbalanced line if he had gotten up there, but it was an illegal formation, so they had to take that time out.
So the Bulls use their first here in half number 2. Number 89 for USF, Mitchell Wilcox, was not lined up correctly, so the Bulls had to burn a timeout. Well, you can kick off your Week 4 NFL Sunday with us on ESPN at 10 a.m. Eastern. NFL Insider Sunday Edition. Trey, Adam, Lewis, and Mark. All the injury news and early breaking stories. And then at 11, the new Sunday NFL Countdown with the crew. Berman, Dilfer, Woodson, Hasselbeck, and Moss take you up to kickoff. Both shows free live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. 3rd and 3. USF at the 19.
Like quarterback run in this.
And that's exactly what they do. And Flowers will have the first down inside the 10, and here will waltz into the end zone. Touchdown Bulls, 19-yard run.
Great block again from Tyree McCants, who we mentioned earlier on a block, and that's why the big fella's in there, 219-pound receiver. He'll get it done. And this is a mismatch here in terms of the personnel involved. You're 5 against their 5 as they spread this thing out. And Quentin Flowers, he counts as double to me because he's going to beat the first guy who tries to get him. They count on that. And so the numbers bode well for USF, and Flowers took advantage.
5-play drive, taking advantage of the second Cincinnati turnover. And it's an 11-point lead for USF.
7th called run for Flowers of the night. He's got 38 yards and 2 touchdowns. He just makes guys miss out in the open field. He finds the fertile grounds of the end zone.
Quentin Flowers' touchdown run has given USF their largest lead of the night, 31-20. It was still 4.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter from here in Cincinnati.
And the miscue of the interception led to those points. And you see not a lot of miscues here, but the key one, that second turnover, that interception thrown by Ross Trail, that led to that last 7 points.
And now we'll see how the redshirt freshman and UC responds, now down 2 scores. Emilio Nadelman to kick off for the Bulls. Braden Beard and Mike Boone back deep for the Bearcats. A short kick. Boone will have a chance from the 9. And pushed out at the 19.
Yeah, Hawkins with another kickoff coverage tackle. And as you mentioned, Mark, Ross Trail coming out, and he's got to be a little gun shy after that interception cost them 7 points. And he's got to just keep it loose. You know, you can't look back. You got to look forward. You got to clear those things and just play loose and free. And that'll be the trick. Can he do that? Is his confidence at that level?
Deion Green in the back. In motion comes Devin Gray. Swung out to Gray. Gray hit at the 22 and up to the 24-yard line. There's Jamon Thomas, number 18, and Khalid McGee, number 21 there.
That pass right there is what you call a confidence builder. Sean Watson, I understand, just got a little confidence builder for the Clemson Tigers, tying that game up against Louisville.
Boone motioning out. They faked the pass to him and instead handed off, and that's Lewis who got the carry, run out by Fullwood.
That's what I would call half of a Statue of Liberty. He didn't hold the ball back behind, but he sure faked the pass with the empty hand and then handed it off on the inside. But Fullwood, he used his eyes well, stayed home, and was able to make the play for a short gain.
3rd down and a long 3. 3 receivers up top. Now one of them motions out. That's Cole. The pass goes in the direction of Cole, and he'll have the first down, break a tackle, make a move inside the 40, lost the football, and USF recovers. 3rd Bearcats turnover tonight. Thomas knocked it out. Nigel Harris, number 57, recovers.
And you see this happen a lot when a guy makes breaks a tackle, and now all of a sudden he's in the open field and he doesn't see people coming from behind him. And you got to take care of the football. He switched hands, but he never kept it high and tight. You should not see any space between the ball and a runner's body, especially when he's in traffic. And that one was being swung around pretty carelessly there. And that's another error.
So the 3rd Bearcats turnover tonight. USF has not turned it over, and they take over at the 43 of UC, and with 5 receivers on first down. Flowers taking a shot down the sideline towards the end zone, and that was Mack.
And they try to get Marlon Mack on the home run ball, but that's what Willie Taggart is known for in this Gulf Coast offense. You make a big play, you get a takeaway, you go for the home run ball right off the bat. And maybe you don't connect it, but I'm telling you what it does. It gets in the minds of these defensive backs for UC, and they back up, and that opens other things up.
2nd and 10, handed off. Dearness Johnson broke a tackle, but unable to break a second. And no gain. Willie Taggart, who was a quarterback at Western Kentucky, of course, was the head coach at his alma mater before coming back to his home area around Tampa. Taggart grew up in Bradenton, Florida. It's an exciting offense to watch, this Gulf Coast offense.
And it is, and Willie Taggart has taken over calling the plays. His first 2 years, he did not do that. Now, these last 2 years, he has done so, and they've had a lot of success with Willie making those calls.
Let's see what he dials up on 3rd down and 10. It's a Flowers pass wide open and off the hands of Bronson, who got a bit of a high fastball and couldn't corral it.
Yeah, but that's on Bronson all the way, and I agree. It was a little high and a little hot, but those are balls that receivers are expected to catch, and it looked like he had a little room to run. He could have easily or possibly picked up the first down, but now they have to bring it out and punt the football. So a great stand on the sudden change by the Bearcat defense.
Jonathan Hernandez to punt. Beard back at his own 10. High short punt. He's going to bounce inside the 5 and once again down at the 2. And the Bearcats are going to be pinned in once again offensively. Before they bring their offense back on the field, let's check in with the studio. And appreciate the update from Death Valley there, Brendan. Here in the Queen City of Cincinnati, 2:16 to play 3rd quarter. USF the 11-point lead, and field position has been the big story offensively for Cincinnati in this half, Ray. They just haven't had any.
Right, and then 2 consecutive possessions with turnovers didn't help the situation, but their defense bailed them out. Now the offense has to get something together.
Take the handoff to Green. The pass deflected and almost picked off there by Augie Sanchez.
And Sanchez is going to hate his hands because linebackers don't get many chances at those kind of opportunities, and that one would have been a pick 6 had Sanchez been able to reel it in, and an ill-advised throw where Ross Trail did not see the backside linebacker.
Trail hands off, trying to get a little bit of breathing room, and the pile pushed by Green across the 5. Daniel Owolike and Kevin Bronson had him repped up.
And it's tough in this type of situation in this area of the field because the Bulls are bringing up an extra guy into the box. They are not too concerned about the pass from this area. And so they're stacking it up against the run, and they're slamming it.
3rd down and 8. Trails pass, and that is picked off. And this will be a pick 6 for Johnny Ward. Ward just kind of looked down, and there it was in his hands, and he was like, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, it was too hot of a short throw from Ross Trail. It goes right through the hands of the intended receiver, and it bounces right into Ward's chest. You're going to see Tion Green go out of the backfield, and that ball's just too hot. You can't throw those tight. You know, it's like playing burnout. When you're a kid, you try and throw the ball as hard as you can at the guy that's close to you. It sailed right past Green, bounced off Ward's chest and into his hands. And just like that, 3 consecutive possessions and turnovers, and Ross Trail realizes that's not good.
Point after for Nadelman. And suddenly USF has opened up a 38-20 lead. It was a 24-20 USF lead at the half.
And the turnover bug once again biting Tommy Tuberville's football team. Last year they were minus 19, and they had 33 turnovers, which was 124th in the country. And now you see the senior Gunnar Keel getting loose on the sideline. What does that mean? We'll find out. But Ross Trail has had his struggles here in the second half. When you go 3 straight possessions with 3 turnovers, it might be time for a change. And Gunnar Keel is, you know, we talked to Coach Tuberville about it, and it's a new offense. And so when they started in spring ball, they were all the quarterbacks, Hayden Moore, Ross Trail, and Gunnar Keel were all given an opportunity. And Keel got hurt and didn't get to participate in spring. So he comes out of summer as number 3, and he never really picked the offense up enough to surpass either of those guys.
And Keel pulled a muscle at his back in this most of spring ball. From the 3, Mike Boone. Boone to the 20. Makes a move at the 25 and spun down at the 28-yard line. Well, last year, USF won handily, 65-27. First pass, long touchdown for Adams, and Keel came into the game. He was the starter at that time. He got picked off a couple times, Ray, and then he got lifted from the game.
Yeah, and both of those passes were lazy, and they were overthrows, and he deserved to get pulled out of there. Well, now the thing has the worm has turned as Gunnar Keel comes in because the other quarterback was throwing interceptions, that being Ross Trail.
So what had been a pretty good first half for Trail has deteriorated here in the 3rd quarter, and Keel pitches and sweep running right, nothing there. Johnny Ward stopping Mike Boone for a loss of close to 4.
And Gunnar Keel, you know, there's been all kinds of questions and talk about it because here's a guy who's thrown 50 touchdowns in the last 2 years, and everybody kind of thought, yeah, he's going to be the guy. And Tommy Tuberville brought him in and said, I can't have any bad body language from you. I need you to be a leader in the room. And he has met all those expectations, and now he's getting a shot.
Keel to Lewis at the 30 to the 33. But it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 or 6.
Zach Taylor, the offensive coordinator, first year with this outfit, told us that he couldn't be more happy than about the way Gunnar Keel has handled his business. And I'm a firm believer when you do things that way, you'll suddenly get an opportunity, and that's what Keel's getting here now.
Keel timing for Lewis, but he went out of bounds and came back in. Was he pushed out?
Well,
no flag. They're going to say a catch.
If he's pushed out, then he can come back in, and as long as he establishes himself back in the field of play, he can get the football. Now, if he takes himself out of bounds without anybody pushing him out, then he cannot be the first player to touch the football, regardless if he establishes himself back in.
Well, he must have been pushed out by the defender because it's a legal catch. It's a first down at the 35 of USF. Boone trying to fight off defenders, but he's going to be tackled for a loss.
Let's go back and look at that play and see if we can see how that receiver got out of bounds.
But it is going to take
check
us
it in a while.
To the end of the third quarter. But Gunnar Kiel here, Ray, trying to give him a little bit of a spark.
Hey, stranger things have happened, and it's time. It's Kiel time. Go Gunnar, right? South Florida with a 38-20 lead over Cincinnati. I want to take you back to that play where we had a dispute about whether or not the receiver went out of bounds. That's Lewis working on the cornerback Nichols, and you'll see as he gets pushed out of bounds right there, and then he can come back inbounds and establish himself and then still be the first man to touch the football. A good call by the officials. That
was a 32-yard gain. It's a 2nd and 12 as we begin the fourth quarter. Swung out. Tion Green being tackled at the 31. He'll be about 6 shy of the first down after a gain of 6.
I don't know if there's a better arm talent in all of college football than Gunnar Kiel. That is not his issue. It's really getting hurt. You know, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And then he has a proclivity for interceptions. And sometimes it's because the concentration isn't there. Sometimes it's too much trust in the arm. But when he's rolling, this dude can sling the rock.
Yeah, we saw the numbers earlier. He's played very well here at home for Cincinnati in his Bearcats career. Kiel steps up, throws a little behind and a little hard off the hands of Devin Gray, that is.
Yeah, Gray's got to have that one, although it was not a particularly good throw by Gunnar Kiel. Just got behind his guy a little bit, but they did a great job picking up the blitz for him. I mean, he's got forever. He's got one-on-ones, and he was looking for that down deep, and now the crowd's upset because Cincinnati has eschewed the opportunity to go for it on 4th down, and they're going to try and kick a field goal.
Wow.
Now they changed holders. So that's a big difference in terms of maybe, hopefully at least for Cincinnati, of Paisley's opportunity to make a play.
Well, Carter Jacobs is the holder. They suited him up during the half, and that ball is going to go wide right. It had the distance.
He banged that kick, though. I mean, it was a lot better than those extra points he's been hammering.
Yeah, a lot better effort by Paisley, but it went wide right, so it stays 38-20. Let's check in the studio with Brendan Fitzgerald. Thanks for the update, Brendan. And some of the crowd not happy. If he had made that field goal, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know what they wanted. It was 4th and 6. I don't know that that's a great opportunity to go for it. I didn't have a problem with the field goal attempt.
USF takes over at their own 31-yard line with the 18-point lead. Marlon Mack. Not much. If anything, Jalen Miner with the tackle.
Cortez Broughton in there as well. And these two defensive tackles, Alex Pace and Cortez Broughton, have played pretty stout in the middle.
63 rushing yards for Mack, who came in a little less than 100 shy of becoming the all-time leading rusher in USF history. Needed 95 coming in. Flowers pulls it, and runs it for the first down all the way up to midfield. Wrestled down by Mike Tyson, but the quarterback Flowers runs for 14 yards.
And you saw his explosiveness and speed. He's a 4.4, 4.5 guy, and that is a serious weapon when you're talking about a quarterback. I mean, the only guys who can catch him usually are corners.
Flowers gives it up to Mack this time, but that goes nowhere. It may lose a half a yard or a yard. Alex Pace, number 99, with the tackle.
Big man Pace working his way down the line of scrimmage. I like the tenacity he plays with. He don't take downs off. And that says a lot to me about a guy. And then he makes plays. That's a good ball player.
Sweep right. Oh, what a move, and there he goes, Mack, who with this run has a chance to become the all-time leading rusher in school history, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown.
And he shook Jalen Miner like I haven't seen in a while. I almost fell off my stool up here with that move. That was something special. Watch this in real speed. The move that he puts on Miner right there. Whoop. You could blow out a groin on something like that.
49-yard touchdown run, and with that run, Marlon Mack has become the all-time leading rusher in USF history.
That was a sick cut right there, boy. Special.
Nadelman, and the Bulls pouring it on now, lead it 45-20. A history-making run, Ray.
Yeah, history-making run, and what a beautiful move that Mack put on Minor, and then it turns into a foot race, and they're not catching Marlon tonight. 45-20 USF. Marlon Mack, his 15th career 100-yard game, and he becomes the all-time USF rushing leader, and you see why with some of the moves he has put on this field tonight. The power near the end zone, punching it in, and this last run right here where he just shook Jalen Minor like I haven't seen in a while, and then out races everybody. This kid is a special talent. We'll see him play on Sundays down the road.
He passes Andre Hall to take over the all-time rushing lead, and I know the Bulls football history is not a long one. This is just their 20th season and only their 17th season at the FBS level. But keep in mind, Mack's only a junior, so in theory, he has the rest of this year and all of his senior year to add to that total.
He might make it so high that nobody will catch him for a long time.
Boone will not take it out. It'll come out to the 25. Well, our Week 4 Monday Night Football matchup is an NFC battle between Eli Manning and the 2-1 Giants and the undefeated Vikings at the new U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. Our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's at 6, and it also streams live on Watch ESPN. Second drive now here for Gunnar Kiel.
Kiel has a real opportunity here. I know Hayden Moore is on the mend and should be back, if not next week, the following week. But Gunnar Kiel has a chance to show some people some things.
Rush by Boone for about 5 up near the 30.
I know I mentioned it earlier, Mark, but I'll reiterate it. This is a different offense. And so instead of winging it around the yard, kind of freestyle almost, now it's progressions, and Gunnar Kiel has never been in that type of an offense, and so the learning curve is what it is, and without the reps it's hard to do, and him being hurt in spring ball really put him behind it.
Play fake. Kiel taking a deep shot down the sideline and a little long intended for Khalil Lewis.
Good coverage by Ronnie Hoggins, who's having a pretty good game. He's got 4 special teams tackles and has done a nice job in coverage. As you see, Clemson has extended their lead over Louisville as another good quarterback, Deshaun Watson.
Now the TD pass for Watson has made it a 14-point lead for Clemson at home.
You know, it's kind of amazing to me a little bit where Clemson, everyone's been a little down on them. And you look at their numbers, and they're exactly what they were doing last year when they had such a great season. I think the expectations and the bar was just too high.
Kiel looking for that screen pass, batted down, incomplete. It'll be 4th down. And to add to your point, really the first couple of games, it didn't seem like Clemson had that same hunger and fire, and perhaps they've gotten that back.
Yeah, a lot of it depends on the competition too, and now that competition has stepped up, that's when your football team steps up, and you don't want to peak too soon. And I got a lot of respect for Dabo Swinney and what he does with that program.
Ernest Johnson, it's that bounce. It'll take a Bearcats roll and be down inside the 20. Still 11.5 minutes to go here in Cincinnati, and Quinn Flowers and the USF offense coming back out.
When things go bad for UC, it usually is because of turnovers. Ross Trail throws a couple of interceptions, and then there's a fumble here, and that's when Gunnar Kiel got his opportunity, and it just hasn't been good tonight. And coming in, Cincinnati was +4 on the turnovers. Tonight, they're -4, so they're even on the year, and you see the points off of, and that's been the story here in the second half, is the turnovers and then the capitalizing on them by USF.
And no forced turnovers by Cincinnati tonight. They've been doing a much better job this year than last. They only had 14 total turnovers a year ago, at 13 coming into this game.
And led FBS with 10 interceptions coming in, but no such luck tonight.
Carry for Dearness Johnson, held up by Marquise Copeland.
And this is where the Gulf Coast offense will kind of get into the shallow waters and run the football more so than anything else. And they also will take the tempo out of it and sit on this football a little bit here with a 25-point lead.
Last year, the meeting between these teams was November 20th in Tampa. Won by USF 65-27. Flowers pass batted away. Intended for Adams, and that was Lyndon Stevens who broke it up.
Great timings by Stevens. This is a great job of getting over the top of the receiver, and Quentin Flowers pointed at himself. He was late with that football, and that's why Stevens was able to get over the top and make a play and knock it away from Adams.
Willie Taggart called last year's win over Cincinnati probably the most complete game his team played all year.
Of course, and then he said, but we can play better. You can always
That's
play
what
better.
Head coaches always say, right?
There's never been a perfect game.
Dearness Johnson tried to bounce it outside, but Mike Tyson rode him back near the line of scrimmage. He may actually lose a yard or so.
UC defense does their job. If they have any hopes of making a comeback here, this next drive, they have to get 7 points.
Yeah, clock rolling, 10.5 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. As Jonathan Hernandez will punt it to Braden Beard back near his own 40.
It's ultimately a 4-possession game with 25 points separating these two teams. So it's now or never for the Bearcats.
Beard makes the fair catch at the 38. So 10:14 to play. We'll step aside here in Cincinnati with the Bearcat offense coming back out.
Brendan Fitzgerald in studio. Up next on ESPNU, Mountain West Conference matchup, a rivalry matchup. They call it the Border War. Wyoming at Colorado State from Fort Collins. That's next on ESPNU. Mark, back to you.
Indeed, Brendan. They're playing for the Bronze Boots, Wyoming and Colorado State.
Das Boot.
The Bronze Boot. Who's going to win the get the boot tonight between Louisville and Clemson out of the rank of the unbeatens?
Right. And of course, we all know what happened to Stanford last night. Wisconsin dropping to Michigan in one of those big matchups between top 10 teams here this weekend.
UC takes over at their own 37. Keel running himself straight ahead for about 6.
That is not Gunnar Keel's strength, running the football. As you see, he got a little tangled up, but USF is dropping back, and they're playing deep, and their deal is don't get it thrown over our heads. They can do all the quarterback draws they want.
And off Chad Bonchbach getting his first carry, the junior. Just his third rush of the season, first tonight.
And those who are still around aren't happy with the play calling right here. You're down significantly, and you come out and run the ball a couple of times. I kind of can commiserate with them a little bit.
And those that are still here, Ray, may be suffering a little deja vu from earlier in this season. There's a pass off the hands. That's to Shumby Johnson, the older brother of USF's Dearness Johnson, and it'll be 4th down.
Another quick 3 and out, and it looks like, yep, they're going to punt the football.
Cincinnati 3-1 coming in. Their only previous loss was to Houston back on Thursday, September 15th. Remember in that game, they had the lead actually early in the fourth quarter. We're up 16-12, and then Houston.
The turnovers got him in that game too, Mark. That's the bane of Tommy Tuberville's existence.
Punt taken by Dearness Johnson, run out at about the 35. So what we were mentioning back on that Thursday night, Cincinnati had the lead, but then Houston, 28 unanswered points, Ray, and the score wound up 40-16, was not indicative of how tight a football game it was for over 3 quarters.
No, and well, we had the same exact scenario play out here tonight as USF has run off 28 straight points, and in large part because of the turnovers of the Cincinnati offense.
And Greg Ward, Heisman candidate for Houston, a big night.
And defense bailed Houston out. They have as good of a run defense as anybody in the country. They slammed the run.
Marlon Mack trying to punch it outside, but broke the first tackle, but then is ridden out of bounds by Malik Clements.
He got away from Brazil, but Clements was there to clean it up. Tommy Tuberville with this football team. This is their American Conference opener, and kind of a new seat. Well, after Houston, excuse me, but this one, you got to win this one or you're out of the race. And so now their goals change a little bit. Now it's about a bowl game. I don't see the American Conference winner with 2 losses.
This is the American Conference opener for South Florida. And when we talked with Tommy Tuberville yesterday, he was very respectful of South Florida and knew the kind of battle they were going to be up against here tonight.
Oh, without a doubt. He has great respect for Willie Taggart and the scheme that they have. You know, he's told us he spent 3 months this summer working on ways to shut this attack down. And when you invest that much time and you get this result, that's disappointing.
Flowers stopped short by Broughton. It'll be 4th down and about 2. Long one.
I thought about it for a half a second, but there's no sense in it. You punt the football away and let your defense, which has been really staunch, shutting Cincinnati out here in the second half and taking the ball away. They have shut down that UC attack and taken the football away here in the second half.
Cincinnati had a 20-17 lead with 3 minutes left in the first half. It was a 24-20 lead for USF at the break, and it's been all USF here in the second half. Well, Willie Taggart hasn't had a lot to be upset about tonight, Ray, on the South Florida side.
Well, he found something, and that's what you mentioned coaches do. And if everything ain't perfect, then it ain't perfect.
7:20 to play in the 4th quarter. This American Conference battle between USF and Cincinnati, and Willie Taggart over talking with Quentin Flowers.
Yeah, they're having a little heated discussion. I'm not sure exactly what Willie's upset about, but he kind of did the bad cop, good cop routine. He tore him down, and then after at the end of that, he built him back up, gave him a pat on the back, and said, "We're going to be all right anyway." So.
The offense snapped the ball prior to the ready for play.
And I appreciate that from Coach Taggart. I have great admiration and respect for his relationship with his ball players and the way he's been able to get everything out of these guys and the maturation and the growth in just his 4th year. They're on the right track.
Handed off Bonchbach to the 30. Well, the last 8 drives for Cincinnati, 4 punts, been picked off twice, fumbled to turn it over, and 1 missed field goal.
That'll get you behind in a hurry, and that's exactly what happened. And they have the wraps on Gunnar Keel. I anticipated him coming out slinging.
That
doesn't help.
Yeah, Devin Gray going right in the hands. A nice pass from Keel.
Yeah, and this Bearcat team is deflated right now. They had higher expectations. They, as you mentioned, Mark, they had a 2017 lead and 3 minutes to go in the half, and they were looking good. They were playing good. And then it went south, and now the Daubers are down.
Keel on 3rd down and 5, passes out of reach of Gray, but a flag comes in late.
That was a catchable football, but there might have been a hold on the breakout, and that's what it is. It's going to be called pass interference.
Pass interference, defense, number 24, automatic first down.
And they got Clements on it. He tugged the back of that jersey. That's a hard one to hide.
Didn't really need to do it.
Right, it wasn't necessary, but it's I think it's human nature. Someone's getting away from you, you grab them, even though it's against the rules. That's why you see so many clips on special teams. You're there, he's there, you just got to hit something. That's the way it is. It's not smart, but that's what people do.
Gill play fake.
He does not have timing with these receivers, as you can tell. He missed Rollins on that one, but when you don't have the reps, and Gunnar Kiel, he got more this week, but the timing is working with guys. It's so vital, and you can see Gunnar Kiel doesn't have it with these guys right now.
Halftime in Death Valley, and Clemson with the 28-10 lead over Louisville. Deshaun Watson added another TD pass before the intermission. The pass to the sideline, that's out of reach and uncatchable for Devin Gray.
Again, an open receiver, but no timing and no real good relationship with the receivers. It's throwing it in the dark almost.
Cincinnati hit the road and go to UConn next week, while South Florida, they will host East Carolina at noon Eastern time on ESPN News on Saturday. Kiel, diving catch attempt, but as he came to the ground, it popped out for Braden Beard, and that's now 8 straight incompletions thrown by Kiel.
I like the jersey name on Beard. It says Braybeard. I don't know if he's related to Greg Beard, but almost made a whale of a catch, and that's where Kiel had to throw that one. That was the window. But another 3 and out, and that's 3 consecutive 3 and outs for Gunnar Kiel and company.
Punt by Geraci. Johnson to the 22.
And I take that back. They did get 1 first down with the penalty on that last drive.
Right. I mentioned what's ahead for the Bulls. They're on ESPN News next weekend, taking on East Carolina.
Here's the schedule. See the results up till now, and they get into some serious American action after East Carolina with Connecticut and Temple, Navy, Memphis, SMU, and USF. And I look at all those games, and I think that they got a chance to win every one of them.
Absolutely, they do. Flowers gives the handoff to Dearness Johnson. Goes for about 3 to the 26. Millie Clements, Marquise Copeland combined on the tackle. The South Florida Bulls team that has made 7 bowl appearances in this, their 20th overall season, 17th at the FBS level.
Got the double-digit wins last year and got this thing humming the way they want it. You know, you expect that in a coach's 4th year taking over. Now his recruits are seniors leading the team, and it has really come together very well for Willie Taggart and his group. There was some question early on. You know, people always want immediate results, especially in today's game, and you don't hear much anymore about 4- and 5-year plans. It's get it done now, or you can get run out of there in a hurry. And they stayed the course with Willie Taggart, and now they're reaping the benefits.
Quinn Flowers on 3rd down at 6. Bullet to the far side, and the catch was made with forward progress for the first down for Stanley Clearvaux. Clearvaux makes his first catch of the season for the redshirt sophomore from North Miami.
One thing I've been impressed with tonight is Quentin Flowers' growth in the intermediate and short passing game. I haven't seen but 1 overthrow, and that was early in this ball game. And since that time, he's been putting it on the money, and they need that as part of their attack.
Flowers, deep shot in the direction of Antoine, and then coming over to kind of break that up was Alex Mutt.
Mutt did a great job turning into a defensive back, and I'm not understanding why or where. First of all, he kind of threw it between the 2 guys going deep, and then what are you going deep for here?
Yeah, it's pretty well in hand with 4.5 minutes to go.
But you know what? If that's the read in the offense, then that's what you do, and you got to keep running your offense. But if I'm coaching this team, Flowers is no longer in this ball game. I'm going to give the young redshirt freshman Brett Keane some reps here, because you don't know. You're always one play away from the next man up.
And now Taggart upset. They use a timeout.
Yeah, second charge, timeout.
Well, somehow, some ways, USF is finding things to become a little upset about, even though they are up 45-20. Coming up tonight after the big Pac-12 game between Arizona and UCLA. Don't miss Sports Center at night. Lisa Kearney and John Bucci-Grossen. They'll have all the highlights from college football, as well as baseball's playoff races. Day 2 at the Ryder Cup, and NFL news and everything else from this busy sports day. Sports Center at night after college football on ESPN. Also streams live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN.
I see Brett Keane in the middle of that huddle right in front of Willie Taggart.
There he comes.
And
you ask and you shall receive.
Thank you,
Bentley.
I would have wanted it a little sooner, but I'm glad they brought it on when I called for it.
Redshirt freshman out of St. Edward High School in Lakewood, Ohio, near Cleveland. With a jet sweep running right. D'Angelo Antoine, another redshirt freshman.
That's actually a completion for Brett Keane, because
right.
he pitched it forward.
He did, yeah.
He come out on fire, 1 for 1.
So he's now 12 for 18 through the air this year, and over 100 yards passing. Does have a couple of TDs.
Right, no picks. So I think it's well past time. It was well past time to get him in this ball game.
First down run for Dearness Johnson on 3rd and short. Tackled by Lyndon Baines Johnson, number 98.
I've heard that
Cincinnati.
name before.
Yeah, named after the 36th U.S. president. LBJ.
You either did your homework or you know your presidents. I'm not going to expose you either way.
LBJ is 6'6", 280 pounds, and I'm not talking about
biggest
the former
president we ever
from
had.
Texas. Not talking about the one from Texas that was president.
All right.
Completion, Alex Mutt to the 48.
That showed you the whip that Keane has. He got that out there with some good velocity. He's a talented kid that they're excited about as well. Flowers, as a junior, has 1 more year, so Keane will, when he does start, have a couple years.
Pass out to the flat far side for D'Angelo Antoine.
He's got some arm talent.
Yeah, Keane went to a really good high school in the Cleveland area. As I mentioned, St. Edward, that's won a couple of back-to-back state titles in Ohio.
3rd and short, trying to hurry him up.
And 3rd and 1, give to the junkyard dog. That's exactly where I was going with that for a first down.
That's his nickname, JYD. He plays on special teams. He's the grunt that does a lot of the hard work in terms of blocking and things, and contributes to this ball team. They love him, and he gives them everything he has every time he's out there.
Back out to Antoine. Antoine had 3 catches on the season coming in, and he's getting some work here late in the 4th quarter. He's doubled his catch total on the season. Under 2.5 minutes to go here in Cincinnati.
And they're letting Keane run this offense with the tempo and doing the things that he would do under normal circumstances.
And taking a shot for the end zone, but a little bit long for Stanley Clairvaux.
And I don't have a problem with Willie Taggart. I don't consider it trying to run up the score. I mean, each team has every opportunity as long as that, until that clock hits double zeros. And if you want to get your young quarterback some work, then you got to run your offense. And so, hey, throw it away, throw it wherever you want, do what you got to do. This isn't about the other team.
Keane's pass roped in by Jordan Reed. First catch of this game for Reed. His 2nd catch overall on the season for the sophomore from Plant High School in Tampa.
Clements read that one. And actually, I think it was a bad decision by Keane. He didn't have the numbers out there to throw that bubble screen, but yet he went with it anyway. And I don't see any reason to kick here either. And a couple of the offensive linemen thought they were done as Hall and Amici, both were heading off the field.
4th down and 5 and a first down grab. Ryshean Bronson. 10-yard gain.
Impressive throw there from Keene. Knew where he was going. I mean, I know Cincinnati's not particularly fired up on defense and doing a whole lot of things, but Keene has come in and shown he's got a little bit of a command of this offense, and he's got serious arm talent.
This time we'll give it up the carry for Trayvon Sands. His first collegiate carry. They break his red shirt, letting him play here tonight. Freshman out of Miami, Southwest High School.
Willie Taggart was very excited, as was TJ Wiest, about Sands and his potential. They consider him another guy that can be a home run hitter with breakaway speed and outstanding vision and the moves he can make. They expect a bright future for Sands. And Darius Tice, their number 2 running back, was injured and lost for the year, and that's what caused them to burn the red shirt on Sands as he takes another carry off to the left side.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Tice, the senior running back who broke his ankle last week against Florida State. There's a chance that he could possibly return at the end of the year for a bowl game. He had surgery, so he's out definitely for a while, but a couple of other options are he could get a medical red shirt, come back next year, or there's a possibility, the third, that his playing career could be over at USF, but all those things are in play.
Right, and a lot of it depends on how he recovers from that ankle surgery.
Pitch to Sands. Trayvon Sands inside the 15, down near the 11. He'll have a first down.
Thinking they might want to get Trayvon Sands an opportunity to get into the end zone. But it's going to run out before they're able to do that.
And that's going to take care of it. USF beats Cincinnati 45-20. That's the final from Nippert Stadium. For Ray Bentley and our entire crew, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks for sharing this one with us. Let's send you to Wyoming at Colorado State.